And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. I do apologize for the delay there, but we are back and we're diving into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have That'll Be for Berserker Esports. And in the top right, we have Mondo for Club Envy. Here we go. Again, I do apologize for the stream going down, but there were some audio issues. There were some tech issues, unfortunately, and the stream did have to be reset. But now we are back, and we are getting back underway. I do apologize for the stream going down, and I'm sure a lot of people, we lost, everyone basically. So for those of you that stuck around, we do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Do appreciate it. And hopefully we can get things underway without any more technical issues. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed as we get everyone back. Meanwhile, it is going to be interesting. Hatch first as we're loading into post-youth. Interesting choice here by Mondo, by the way. Going for a map like post-youth, a very unorthodox map, but much more macro-oriented, and is actually not going for his pocket base. Doesn't go for the free base that is given to him with the hybrid gold minerals, by the way. Instead, we're going for the triangular third as the natural instead. I'm very much so caught off guard. What? Like, what is happening? I didn't even know. Crazy. So, yeah, bold move here by Mondo. Very interesting expansion pattern as well. I'm curious where this leads us and what he has in mind, because this does just feel inefficient. The one thing that this does do for Mondo is it does give him some boosted creep spread across the map to move out a lot faster if we were to go for something like an all-in. Oh boy. As there we go, we do have Battle B going for his own Rax expand, going for the expansion in his own main base, of course. And we'll see if this takes us anywhere else. Oh. Sorry, just making sure that we're also added to TL as well. Make sure we are added. Beautiful. And the predictions from earlier are still open as well, which will soon be paid out. Well, I mean, once the series does end. Again, I believe the predictions were, they were opened up at the start of the broadcast. But here we go. We are settling into this. Into game number 2. So far, Reaper just going to be dancing with these lings. We have yet to go for a third base yet. As Reaper pulls back, heads towards the main base, is going to confirm the lack of hatchery, which I'm sure is going to be a bit of a puzzled look here for Battle B. Wait, why haven't you taken this free base? And we have our answer. Mondo is going for the gold. Okay. Gold base on the horizon here from Mondo. Very interesting. Not something I was quite expecting here. But okay, we're rushing into the gold. Behind this Battle B, he's going for a third CC into a 2-1-1. Okay, Battle B, I see you. Basically, we're skipping the starport, or we're delaying the starport in favor of a second Rax instead. So this is going to be a 3CC 2-1-1. Reaper slips into the main. Doesn't quite get much done. Is going to be forced out. There we go. The natural base is being, that gold base is being taken. And Battle B is rotating around and will soon get eyes on it, and we'll see if he can punish it as well. That gold is so vulnerable. It's so wide open. Can be attacked from every single angle. Speaking of, here come the Hellion and the Reapers. Okay, they do confirm the hatchery has been taken. Yet to be saturated. Still yet to be saturated. Battle B is going to be just lying in wait, again getting into his own stim. Remember, this is a third CC into a 2-1-1. This means that we're going to be working towards a pretty big bio push. As the Marine Cannon is building up, stim is on the way. We're just waiting for the Medivacs before we do commit. Battle B, he's poking with some of these Hellions, but because it's a 3CC 2-1-1, he only has 4 Hellions outside of the 6 or even 8 that we would have otherwise. So because of the low Hellion count, this is actually helping out Mondo quite a bit. Is going to be able to hold on. Meanwhile, Lings, they try to catch the Hellions, but alas, we do react too quick. Lings are going to be forced back. Meanwhile, as we said, this is a big shout out to Eva in the chat. Oh my god. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I hope to see you tomorrow, by the way, Eva, as in 2 days, as Sparkling Tuna Cup is this weekend on Sunday. Better be there. Esta Eva, papi, esta Eva. As we are settling in, for now, we do see, interesting, we do see Mondo taking his 4th base as well as a macro hatch, trying to get into Lingbane. Meanwhile, here comes that stim timing. The Marines are moving out. Armory is done. Hellbats are being morphed in. Here we go. Battle B. He's going to shut down this gold base. Can we hold without Banelings? It's going to be tough. You have 6 queens here on the front lines. Banelings are just now starting. But the Banelings are so late. Yeah, with these Hellbats, with this position. We are denied mining at the gold. Battle B. He does pull back. Gets 5 drone kills. If I get another Protoss first or second round, I'm never playing again. You're getting a Protoss first round. It's happening. It's happening. Este Iba. As Battle B is going to be pulling back. Doesn't commit. Interesting. Doesn't quite end up committing here. He's just going to be reinforcing before pushing out. He's going to be reinforcing. There we go. Rallying even more across the map as well. And this time we do have Banelings. Bailing speed still not quite done though. For Mondo, still in a bit of trouble. Still in quite a bit as... Oh, there we go. No, my apologies. Bailing speed does kick in. And with it, we should be okay. We do lose another 3 drones. Good target firing here on the medevac. Oh, big connection. Good connection as well. Boys are being pulled. Reaper finally going to go down, but not before killing 5 drones. Oh my god. Got 5 worker kills. From here, Battle B going to be threatening a drop. But this gold base has paid for itself. Has more than paid for itself at this point. It took a while to really punish, and even then, we're not fully punishing it. So Mondo is holding his own. Is going to be holding his own. Have 2-2 on the horizon here. We do have quite an upgraded advantage here for the Terran. And we're going to be at least denying the 5th. But I'm quite impressed here that Mondo was able to get into his 4-base setup, including this gold. And Battle B, the pressure is still on him to punish. Still very much so on him. As he's threatening push. Ooh, big mine shot goes off. A lot of links go down. And very efficient trades. Once again, another mine connects. Ay, ay, ay. Mondo not trading well, and now he's in a lot of trouble. Does at least retain his Banelings. Does at least keep some Banelings alive. But I not like this. We have a drop going ham in the main base as well. 8 drones go down, and we're not done. The drop, it comes back in. Does come back into the main. Mine just going to be going off big. Oh my god! Massive connection to the Banelings. These Widowmines, they've been brutal. And Mondo is hurting so bad here. 10 drones go down in the main. Queens are pushing forward. Not like this. Yeah, the Widowmines are the MVPs. Someone should tell Battle B that Widowmines got nerfed. He doesn't know. They don't know about me. They're acting like they're from the previous patch. Ay, ay, ay. Massive mine connections. With that Battle B, he can pivot away. He's going to be consolidating his army, regrouping. Mondo is getting into his own hive, is working towards it, but is barely holding on. Yeah, as we deny the 5th once again. We force a cancel. To force that cancel, and again Mondo, he's barely holding on here. He's just starting 2-2. Meanwhile 2-2 was already done for Battle B. He has a massive upgrade advantage, starting up 3-3 as we speak. Mondo just doesn't have the resources, doesn't have the bank here to work with this to build back up. He's just been trading too poorly. Yeah, we're pulling him apart. 2 queens go down. The gold base looking that much more exposed. Once again, the mines! Oh my, the mines, they clean up all the link bane on the right-hand side. The drop still active, goes into the natural. And there's only links to defend. Efficient trades here from Battle B. The Marines, they go ham. They clean up so many lings. And we're pulling Mondo apart. We're snowballing out of control. It's just becoming too much. Battle B with a massive supply lead. And we spoke about it. Mondo, he is the weakest link here on his team. And Battle B, he kicks things off with a 2-0 lead. GG. A strong start for Berserker Esports. GG, well played. Battle B does kick things off. We do have DNS versus Creator coming up next here. I'm just trying to catch up here in the broadcast as well. Again, the stream did go down earlier, so we have some catching up to do. But we are getting ready for our mirror matchups. It's going to be a PvP between Creator and DNS, and we also have a ZVZ between Mixu and DRG thereafter. Did you have that on the way? Oh, the stream went down. Oh my god. We weren't the only ones having issues here. Okay. My apologies here. But apparently the clean feed went down as well. Okay, we're good. We're back. But apparently the clean feed also had its own issues, but we are back, and we're diving into game number 1. Whew. And in the bottom left we have DNS for Berserker, and in the top right we have Creator for Club Envy. Here we go. Whew. We're diving into our next best of 2, into our next matchup here. As a reminder, this best of 7 is comprised of best of 2s, so even if this goes 1-1, we won't get an ace match. Not quite how it works, as these are not best of 3s. And my condolences to Mondo. I did say before, though, that Mondo, he's more of an up-and-coming player, and Mondo did retire, and he's not full-time anymore, or he's not committing as much time to competing as he once did. So, again, Mondo, it was an uphill battle for him. He was the underdog in his series, unfortunately unable to take a game, but this is where the rest of his team kicks into high gear. This is where suddenly the turns have tabled and the pressure is now on DNS. No longer is Berserker the favored players here in this series, but we'll see if we can bounce back, because DNS is a heavy hitter. This is where I should also mention that DNS, he was actually on the Platinum Heroes. He was on Platinum Heroes last season and was a key member of their team. I would say that in last season of WTL, DNS was most likely the ace player for their team. I know that he was the ace for the Platinum Heroes 2 seasons ago. Last season, it was between DNS and Firefly, but DNS, he's a very strong player in Europe right now, and he since left the Platinum Heroes. He has joined Berserker Esports, and we'll see if this new environment is able to give him some new vigor, give him some new motivation as well. It is a new team that he's a part of, but I would say that he's also currently a key member of it. Arguably the best player. I say arguably. We spoke about this previously, about how Gung Fu Banda is very unpredictable. Like, he's very hit and miss with his state of play, with his current form. So I do think that Gung Fu Banda, he lacks a little bit of consistency in his play and in his form. I do think that that's where DNS thrives, though, and you could definitely make an argument that DNS, he's top 2 on Berserker alongside Gung Fu Banda. Could make an argument, but we'll see. We shall see as we're settling into this PvP. We do have Creator going for his expansion, 2-gate opener into expand. Meanwhile, DNS getting into his own 2-gate opener as well, going for some tech instead. So it's going to be a 2-gate into Stargate from DNS. Basically, the pressure is now on the blue Protoss player to get some damage done. He's going to be looking to get some economic damage done with these oracles. It's going to be on Creator here to maintain his economic lead with this faster Nexus. Here we go. I see in the chats. We are actually in talks with I believe there's a widget programmer, or there's someone that's been making some Twitch applications out there, and we're actually in talks to hopefully make something to help with predictions. We'll see if anything comes of it. We shall see. So that is something that we're looking into, just because like it'll be so much easier if we could like press a button and have predictions going. Something we're looking into. Meanwhile, we do see DNS double expanded. Oh my god, wait, what? This is something that I've never seen before. DNS, off of his Stargate opener, he is going for his natural and his third base at the same time. Crazy move here out of DNS. We'll see if we can get away with it. He does apply some pressure with these Stalkers, does take down the shield battery. Meanwhile, Hallucination's got moving out. So Creator, he gets eyes on the natural, but does he get eyes on the third? He needs to. He desperately does need to. If he does, he can soon apply pressure and punish this third base. It's so greedy here from DNS. So bold. And Creator, does he check? I mean, there's no reason to check. That's the thing. Like, why would you? Hallucination is about to run out, and up, he will. Big moment, Creator. It looks like we're checking, and he has seen the third. Big scout for Creator. Whew. Okay. Big scout from him, and we'll see if he can punish this. Meanwhile, at the same time, Oracles, they dive into the mineral lines. Sentries have since been improved, and the first Oracle goes down. For those who don't know, the Sentry has now been boosted quite a bit in the new patch. It does take less damage from things like Oracles and Adepts, as it is no longer a light unit. Likewise, it does bonus damage to shields. So people have been doing testing. Sentries no longer tickle, at least not in PvP. Now they hit quite hard. Like, Sentries have been improved quite a lot here in the PvP matchup. And Creator, he's going for a big counter attack. Shield battery, it's almost done. Shield battery is about to finish up. We have a stasis trap set up as well. Creator looking to push in. Creator is looking to push in. Meanwhile, he's going for a blink towards the natural, trying to pull DNS apart. Going for some probes. Gets two. We're gonna get a third. Sentry does get focused as well. Good pickup so far here by Creator. And he doesn't push into that third. Does see the army. Doesn't like what he sees. Doesn't commit. Oracle gets across the map. He's gonna get some probe kills. Gets two. Ooh, gets three. Very nicely done. Three workers do go down at the same time. Very good force field here to Creator. He catches the Immortal. Does catch the Immortal. A second does arrive, forcing Creator back. Behind this, he's getting into his own third. We can see that DNS has a 10 worker lead. That is a massive advantage here for DNS. And he holds on to the third. May have lost a couple of workers here and there, may have lost an Immortal, but he does get away with it. That is a big moment here for DNS. Creator's still trying to be active. But like, this is such a good way to punch up as well. For DNS to take a risk like this, to take a chance. And for it to pay off. Meanwhile, we can see a massive gateway explosion on the way for both players. DNS trying to take a fourth, but Creator's in position. Does deny it. Does contain DNS, and Creator, he's going for his own faster fourth base instead. Does make sense. Creator, he's still trying to catch up. And the faster fourth will help. As he's catching up, it looks like Creator is committing to a mass gateway army. I believe DNS has a tech advantage with Archon production available. Yeah, Temple Archives is done. Archons are on the way. Creator just now starting up his own Temple Archives. The reason for this is because he got the faster fourth instead. But he won't have Archons available, at least initially. We could try and hit a timing. could try to. So here we go. We have Creator once again getting ready for another backstab. He is spotted by the Observer. DNS is in position. Late reaction out of DNS. The Prism goes down. We depower the Robo as well. Big pickoffs here out of Creator. Gets the Prism, gets the Robo. Dives into the main base, goes for the recall. Very nicely done. Slick moves here out of Creator. And again, he has to make these moves happen because of his deficit. As DNS has a massive army supply lead. And he's soon going to be pushing out. Now, the Temple Archives is done, so Creator can get back into Archon production. Meanwhile, that's a big delay on the Immortals from DNS. Does slow him down quite a bit. As I believe we're still trying to repower that Robo. There we go, back up and running. It is back up and running. As Creator is pushing on the right hand side, he is spotted by DNS. And DNS is in position. At the same time, Oracle gets shot down. Finally across the map. Creator pulling back. And a Creator, he is going to be taking up even further from here, working towards Aerobotic Spade, towards Disruptors. Okay, so Creator looking to out-tech his opponent. That's a Bay on the way. Second Robo as well for Creator. Stage trap goes up. Only gets one probe. Only gets one. As DNS is pushing through the center of the map before the Disruptors come out. Big moment here for DNS. As +2 is about to finish. It's about to kick in. And it has. DNS going to be rotating around towards the third. Creator is keeping up with the rotation. Does spot the army. DNS second guesses himself for a moment there. It's reinforcing with more Archons, more Zealots. First Disruptor's on the way. That first Disruptor is going to be huge. I believe DNS has not seen it yet. Has not seen the tech. And it looks like we are buying time. The Disruptor, it's going to come out. DNS just unable to push in. That's the power of Alcyone. He is taking the gold base at least. Is going for the gold. But he cannot break his opponent, and Creator, he's maxed out. Any kind of disadvantage, not really there anymore. Here comes the first Nova. Up! And will it connect? Trying to chase this down. Disruptor, it goes up! And the Nova does connect. Big connection here with the Sentry and the Stalkers. Second Nova goes off as well. Connects with the Immortal. Stalkers are going down. Creator, can he break through? His Prism is exposed, and it does fall. Good pick up there from DNS. But he's unable to break through. Disruptors are kept alive. Another Nova goes off. Misses though. Good split. Very nice reaction from DNS. Does avoid the shot. And Creator is not out of the woods yet. We had a couple of decent Novas, but still not good enough. DNS threatens the push. Behind this, his gold is getting up and running. Still not saturated yet, but it's on the way. We're getting there. We are getting there. You see DNS once again. Oof, running into some Disruptors. No connections though. Creator trying to sneak out with a base towards the center right. Just taking the Nexus. Good target firing on the Archon. We can see that DNS has gotten into his own Disruptor production. So we're going to be seeing some Purification Novas on Purification Novas. Some ball on ball action. That's what we like to see. Well, that happens. Oh! Oof. Two zone each other away. A couple of Zealots get picked off. Both armies, they are remaxed. How good are the Novas? Force a blink. Force a blink. Good connection on the Immortal, but likewise a counter connection on Creator. Looks like a big blow to the face. Has to pull back. At the same time, Prism gets into the main. There is a cannon in position. Are we looking? Ooh, we're not looking. We do take down an Immortal and a Disruptor. And DNS a little bit distracted, focusing across the map. Good target firing out of Creator. He gets one, he gets two. Another Nova connects, but Creator, he's pushing on through. Yeah, he caught DNS with his pants down. And DNS, he cannot save this gold. At the same time, the Prism in the main got deflected. And DNS, he's in a lot of trouble. Again, it was doing so well this game. And getting up to this point. But remember, DNS could not push into the third or the fourth. He could not break the defensive position of Creator. And Creator, he got away with Disruptors. And now suddenly Creator has a lead. Somehow, some way he's found it. Oh, decent connections here from those Disruptors. Ooh, once again, a good connection on the on the Immortals of Creator. But he's still breaking through. It's still not enough. We have another defensive warp in. Nova connects with the Immortal. And Creator, he's just overwhelming DNS. Again, it was a good effort here out of DNS. He did so well making it this far. Or again, throughout most of this game, I would have said that he was ahead. But again, that has been taken away. Creator, he bounces back despite the deficit. Just some stasis traps going off. And you can see here, Creator has almost, what, a 60 supply lead, soon to be a 70. Zelsa coming in to reinforce. Disruptors are amassing. Maybe with like the perfect purification Novas, we can maybe do something here. But things are looking bleak for DNS. Getting in with some Dark Templar. Let's go. But we have detection. We have observers. Creator's attention's being pulled apart, losing two Disruptors. Very nice trades. Well, Disruptors are going down. DTs are finally dealt with. And Creator, he pulls the trigger. Nevers wants to get big connections. Oh my god! DNS! The best fight he could have hoped for, but it's still not enough. Disruptors are exposed and they're finally being focused down. Creator, he's resetting the Disruptor count. Aye. And GG gets called. Creator, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. Again, DNS, he did so well for himself in that game. Got himself in a good position, got himself ahead, but if you remember, he could not press his advantage. He could not break Creator on his 4-base setup. Could not break into the third, or the natural, or the fourth base. It was just too much. And now we're getting ready for game number 2. We're diving into game number 2 here on Post Youth, and in the top right we have DNS for Berserker, and in the bottom left we have Creator for Club NV. Let's go. Let us go. Just quickly working through that break, trying to catch up here with the clean feed as we're settling into game 2 of this PvP. Now, as a reminder, Post Youth was actually DNS's map of choice. It was Loser's Pick, or it is Loser's Pick here in WTL. So DNS, he did opt to go for Post Youth of all maps. This is, I would say, the most macro-oriented map in the map pool currently, like with these free bases you can take with the 3 and 4 base setup that you can find yourself in. We have seen a lot of longer games here. Have seen longer games. And we'll see if anyone is bold enough to be greedy on this map and go for that center goal base. For now, we're just setting up for an economic opener. It's going to be a gate expand. Gate expand out of DNS, gate expand out of Creator. So economic builds all around. No one is getting to a second gas geyser, which means that no one is rushing into a Stargate. We are looking to expand. DNS did get into the main base of Creator, so he's being a nuisance. He is being as annoying as possible. He's going to be delaying the expansion. Could even force out some tech. DNS already has his natural on the way. Yeah, did go for the pylon block. Ooh, Creator, he goes for the gold! Oh my god! Creator, he's crazy! He's going for the gold base! I mean, his hand was forced because of that pylon block. But in a longer game, this is going to be a difficult base to hold on to. What is our plan? What are we going for? Show us what you got, Creator. Show us what you got. As I've yet to see a player rush into the gold in a PvP specifically on this map. So I'm not entirely certain what we're about to see. I mean, we should be seeing DNS go for an aggressive response. Notice Stargate. Now, the power-based Stargate opener is very similar to what we saw last game. It's going to be for Oracle production. It's going to be to harass mineral lines with stasis traps with our Pulsar Beam. We're looking to pull Creator apart. Creator is going to be spread thin, defending 2 bases at once. He's going to need shield batteries. He's going to need stalkers. Creator is going to have to invest quite a bit here into keeping these bases safe. There it is. Shield batteries already on the way. And we'll see if DNS can break the defenses of Creator. See if he can punish him. There's that recall to the gold. Creator getting it up and running as quickly as possible. Creator, he catches the Adept as well. Well done here by Creator, but a second Adept has arrived. And we do force Creator back. It's going to be forced back. Shield battery just topping up that Stalker, keeping it safe and sound. Adept saying ignore the Stalker, they go straight for the probes. They get 1. They go straight for the mineral line, they get 1 probe. They deny some mining time. But the Adepts, they're caught out by the sentries. You can see here, again, another example. Sentries, they no longer tickle. Not like before. They shut down 1 Adept, they shut down a second Adept as well. Good defense so far to Creator. Oracle's moving out. Stasis trap is going to be denied. To deny the stasis here. DNS selling into his own setup. We're going into additional gateways, working towards the Twilight Council, working towards Blink. Remember, Blink for DNS is delayed because of his Stargate. Meanwhile, Creator is getting into his own, and so far he hasn't lost too much. But that Oracle count is getting even higher. We're up to 2. 2 Oracles can one-shot probes. So DNS has a lot of potential here to get economic damage done, but he needs to. Pressure is on. Oracles towards the main. We get 1, we get 2. 2 probe kills. Oh. Well, the Oracle takes a lot of damage. You see Creator trying to intercept. Trying to catch out those Oracles. Does abandon that natural mineral line, the gold-based mineral line. He's poised to shut those Oracles down. And we can see both players expanding. Creator, the first to take a 3rd base, is getting saturated. DNS still in the midst of taking his own. And I can't believe it, but Creator, he got away with it. He dealt with the Adepts, he dealt with the Oracles. The harassment was not good enough, and Creator, he gets away with the gold. I'm quite impressed. Quite impressed here. Creator now getting into a gateway explosion. We have 5 gates on the way. That's a lot of gateways. Did I say 5? That is 6 gateways on the way. I believe that's going to be 8 in total. Creator, he may be looking for a 3-base push. Maybe looking to commit on 3 bases based on that pylon location. I think that's the case. This is going to hit like a truck. Again, thanks to the gold base in the center and the hybrid gold base as well, Creator is looking to snowball out of control. With our good force fields, we get a couple of Stalkers. We go proxy gateway across the map to reinforce. Oracles, they sip into that Natural base, so we do get some workers. We do get 4 probes. Very nicely done. We do get 4 workers. At the same time, the main armies are going to be clashing. Creator, he does trade well. And Stalkers are falling. Reinforcements on the way. Creator, he does overwhelm DNS. And snipes a couple of Stalkers in the retreat. And DNS, he is in trouble. Do we have a shield battery? We do. We have an overcharge. But Creator, he's able to work through it anyway. He's one-shotting Stalkers one after the other. The overcharge, it does nothing. It's not good enough. And Creator, he just has too much to handle here. GG gets called, and Creator will take the series 2-0. GG, and he does tie things up 2-2. Let's go. GG, well played. We are tied up 2-2 here. Again, Creator, arguably the best player, the ace player of Club NV, does bounce back for his team. Now we're getting ready for the ZVZ. Very well done. DNS, here in game number 2, he had a really hard time. He was unable to punish the gold. But what I will say here in game number 1, he was looking strong, was looking even to surpass him. But here we go, we're getting into our ZVZ in the top right hand corner. We have Mixu for Berserker. In the bottom left, we have Dongregu for Club NV. Whew. The ZVZ, we're just diving right into it. But again, when it comes to that previous series, DNS, like, he did so well for himself in game 1. I was so impressed by his lead, by his build in game number 1. But Creator, he somehow was able to recover. He did bounce back in that first game because it was Alcyone. Basically, Creator, he played defensively, and of course, DNS was unable to break him. Likewise, was unable to break him and punish him on post-youth as well. Speaking of, we're loading into post-youth. We are loading into post-youth here for the ZVZ, and I don't expect this to be a long series. I'll be honest, I don't expect this to be a long one. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on how you believe this series will unfold. Dongregu is coming in as the favorite player, but Mixu has been training hard for this. He's been practicing. He's been looking to try and snipe DRG in the ZVZ. I'm sure we have specialized builds for this occasion. I'm sure we do. Here we go. For now, it's going to be a hatch gas pool from both players. We are taking the hybrid bases. Is anyone bold enough to rush into the gold as a third? I doubt it, but it's on the table. And hey, if Creator can take the gold, it's up in the air. Anyone can take that gold. Here we go. As we are settling in. Hatcheries are getting up and running. So far, no major deviations, no additional gases. We should be getting to link speed. This so far looks like a standard straight up ZVZ for the time being. We'll keep our eye out for any kind of deviation. If anyone tries to go 2-base Muta or 2-base Lair, 2-base Roach, we'll keep an eye on their 3rd-base timings. Based on the openers, we should be getting to a 3rd. We shouldn't be playing 2-base, especially on post-youth. It's just not worth it. It's a very large map, very long map. All-ins have a hard time really paying off on a map like this. And we can see Mixu moving out to take the 3rd, and there it is! He's taking the gold. Let's go! I said earlier, is anyone bold enough to take the gold base as their 3rd? And it looks like Mixu is. Meanwhile, DRG is playing 2-base. That's a Lair. So DRG is staying on 2 bases, rushing into a Lair, rushing into Roaches. 2-base Roaches on the way here. I just was talking about this, about how I'm not really too fond of 2-base Roach on post-youth because of how large it is. So I have to favor Mixu here, especially now that he's coming in with the scout. He does confirm the Roach warrant. Big scout by Mixu. So now he knows for certain that DRG is playing 2-base, and that means that Mixu will have the economic advantage. Not just that, he will have an extended economic lead because that 3rd is a gold of all things. So if we play a standard game from here, I have to give the edge to Mixu, but we'll see what is done with this Lair. We have +1 ranges on the way, but that could always be cancelled, and we could go for Aspire. Post-youth wouldn't be a bad map for Aspire, to be honest, for 2-base Muta play. But we'll see. As DRG, he does not cancel +1. He starts up Roach speed. He's playing 2-base Roach. Straight up. Now, this should not be an all-in. This is a very safe way to play for DRG. It's a way to just skip entirely Ling Bane, and we should be working towards a third. We should be. DRG, he is amassing Roaches. Roach Warren now on the way for Mixu. And DRG, he has yet to expand. I believe he's got his eyes on the gold, and there it is. He's going for the gold base. Let's go. How do you counter a gold with a gold of your own? And DRG, he's not been droning too much. He's still amassing Roaches. If Mixu drones too much, if Mixu is too economic, then he will be caught with his pants down, and DRG could kill it. So we have to be very careful here with how heavily we drone. Mixu is up 10 workers. Now, thankfully, Mixu isn't making any more drones, and hopefully it stays that way for the near future. We need Roaches. Mixu, he needs to amass as many Roaches as possible. Creepers are being thrown down. DRG is getting ready to push. He's getting ready to push here on 2 bases. He does have a Roach lead, but Mixu has the defender's advantage. Here we go. DRG is pushing. Thanks to the creep highway, it does take a little bit less time for his reinforcements to get across the map. Mixu going for a counterattack at the same time. Oh, never mind. No, it is just reinforcing. Looks like a couple of leads get peeled off. Roaches, they do clash with each other. Mixu, he does have queen support. Does have faster reinforcements as well. Mixu is pushing up a ramp into a concave. Not the best trade here at a Mixu, but he's brute forcing his way through. At the same time, he denies mining at the gold. And Mixu, he is overwhelming. And remember, he does have an economic lead behind this. Mixu, he's ahead. He's doing it. he's looking good. Oh, he's droning. Uh-oh. We don't need to drone. Remember, Mixu, he already has 10 workers on his opponent, and Mixu, he's droning right now, and DRG isn't. DRG is still all in. If we drone too much, Mixu, now is not the time. We need Roaches, papi. If we drone too much, that could be our downfall. Mixu, not like this. Calm down. DRG takes the supply lead, army supply lead. Mixu droning up to 52. And is that too greedy? Is that too much? Well, we're cutting it close here with how much we're droning. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for Mixu. Remember that. Because Mixu has a better economy, that will lead into a larger army. The RG, meanwhile, knocking down rocks. He's got +2 on the way. It looks like he's looking to hit a +2 timing. But honestly, Mixu has a comparable army. He's not looking too bad. Good concave out of DRG. A very good positioning. Mixu trying to force his way in, but we do have the better concave for the red Zerg. But here we go. Reinforcements are on the way. Mixu, he's looking to overwhelm. And Mixu, it looks like he barely has enough. He's forcing DRG back. He takes the better trade. Queens are waddling in for both players. But no transfuse. There we go. Mixu, he does spread creep. He can support a little bit harder. Another queen is on the way. Mixu is so close to breaking DRG, and it looks like he is doing it. He's pulling it off. He breaks through the army, gets in some of the queens. And Mixu, papi, in the mirror matchup. GNS couldn't do it against Creator, but it looks like Mixu, he may be able to pull this off here against DRG. Again, Mixu so quick to take the gold as his third base. Did punish the 2-base split of DRG. And all we have to do was survive, and we did. And now we're snowballing out of control. Mixu collapses on the army, breaks on through, gets into the mineral line. GG gets called, and Mixu will take game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, very well played here. Mixu does take a lead in this series for himself and for his team. Very well done. GG. Again, I'm not too fond of 2-base all-ins on this map on post-youth because of how large it is. DRG opted to go for the 2-base play, for the 2-base roach, and he was punished for it quite hard. And with that, Mixu needs one more to win it all for himself and for his team. And in the top left, we have Mixu for Berserker Esports. And in the bottom right, we have Dongwei Gu for Club Envy. Oh boy, here we go. Here we go, Bobby. Comes down to this. I mean, I say that if DRG wins this game, we force an ace match. We could force that ace match. We are close to doing so. Otherwise, Mixu could just win it all here and now, and that would be a big upset. Coming into this, I mentioned it, but for Club NV, you know, Battle B was favored in his series, and Battle B did take the 2-0. No big surprise there. But following that, Creator and DRG, they're the ones to beat. They're the ones to bring down. And both Mixu and DNS haven't been looking too bad at all here tonight, and Mixu already causing an upset. Already doing so much for himself, for Berserker. Can he keep it going? Can he get the 2-0? Let's go. Let us go. Overlords are moving out. It is going to be a hatch gas pool opener here from our players. Winding it back a little bit to talk about game 1 again. Again, I wonder what the rationale was there for DRG. I mean, I guess it makes sense. I imagine from DRG's perspective, because he is the favorite player coming in, that may be why he opened up 2 base, because he was maybe expecting an all-in. If the goal base was taken as the natural, then it would have been an all-in from Mixu. But again, Mixu, he does kind of somehow avert expectations here from DRG, catches him off guard, went for the gold as a third instead, and he just had such a boosted economy getting into the mid-game. And DRG was forced all in. But now that we get into Oceanborn, that dynamic isn't available. There is no goal base, there's no unorthodox way to take a strong lead like we saw on Post-Youth. So we need another plan from Mixu. We need another game plan. What's it gonna be? For now, standard play. For now. Is still a hatch gas pool. We're going to be joining up. We have a handful of lings on the way. This should be leading to a third base, and there it is. We have a third from Mixu. We have a third from DRG. So far, everything is by the book, and this should be leading to a Bailey Nest into Ling Bane aggression. Speaking of, there it is. A Bailey Nest has been thrown down for both players. And this is where things can get really scary. Obviously, Ling Bane, it's a knife fight. It's very much on a knife's edge. It all comes down to the player's unit controls, if we commit. Speaking of, Mixu, he has 8 lings on the way. 10, 16! We're going for a ling flood. We're going for aggression here. Mixu is going to be doubling down. DRG, he's making some lings, but he's droning. So Mixu will have a massive lead here, as he's pretty committed. And so far, unscouted. DRG has not seen, not yet. And here we go, we pull the trigger. Now DRG sees, he knows. Mixu is going across the map, he's just going almost all in here. Cutting workers at 24. Back at home, Bailings are on the way, Lings have arrived, and can we get the third? That's all we need. Mixu is joining behind this, he's not all in, but he is committed. First Bailing next. DRG does break through. He zones Mixu away. Ooh, good connection from Mixu. Bailings are going down. We get on top of the queens. But we have reinforcements. We get 1 queen, but DRG, he will hold. He forces back the army, but the base goes down. Mixu, he gets the hatchery. That's all he needed. He gets the base, and Mixu, he has a comparable drone count. Now he has to survive the counterattack. We're not out of the woods yet. We did kill the third, but now we have to survive. As now the turns have tabled and DRG is going for his own push. Lings have arrived, Bailings are on the way. They're morphing in as we speak, right outside the bases. Oh, good connection from Mixu. DRG slipping up his control. He does slip up, good target firing by Mixu as well, but oh, he manually detonates. No, the manual detonation, Mixu wastes Bailings. Ay, not like this. And that was a good 3 Bailings going down for free, and that means that DRG breaks in. Oh, he breaks through, gets into the natural, gets into the main base. We have 1 Bailing left. Good connection on those lings, and this should not have happened. Ay. Maybe a little bit of nerves there from Mixu. And we see Mixu even detonate Banelings on his own hatchery there. Does mispick once again. Now is not the time. As Mixu will clean this up. But again, he's got no Banelings left. As we just saw previously, he did run his own Banelings into the hatchery, and things are going to be calming down a little bit. Mixu, he's down in workers. Roaches have arrived. DRG is looking solid here. He's looking strong. And Mixu, he's got a lot of catching up to do. He's down in workers, down in tech. And DRG, he's pushing. Again, Mixu was looking he had a pretty good start initially. And he was defending well. Until he wasn't. Now behind this, DRG is droning. He was posturing with his roaches, but it looks like he's turning back around. And he does chill back at home. And it looks like DRG, he's more concerned with saturating his third first before pushing. And we can see how behind Mixu is. He's just now starting up his Roach War and his Evo Chamber +1. I don't think we have Lair Tech. And the longer this goes on, the further ahead DRG gets. Right now, the pressure is on Mixu to get some economic damage done. He needs to slip into a mineral line, get into the natural, get into the main. Whether it's a Ling run by or a Baneling run by, he needs something to go his way. Does need something here. The other thing we could go for is an all-in. Mixu could try to go for a 2-base all-in and fake saturation at his third, but it looks like he is droning quite heavily actually. So Mixu is going to try to macro. So he's going to try to macro out of this. And if Mixu is given enough time, he will. But the reality is that DRG should soon be pushing, as he's already on 56 drones. And you can see here that DRG is not making any more workers. He's amassing roaches. He is amassing roaches. Mixu still droning, by the way. He's down 60 supply. 60 army supply. Jesus. A disparity you don't see too often. And here we go. DRG is pushing right through the center of the map, and I don't believe there's anything to stop him. And again, just too much of a deficit early on. The roaches have arrived. Banelings are being targeted down. We have a handful of roaches popping out here for Mixu, but it's not going to be enough. Yeah, DRG, he's looking to overwhelm. GG gets called, and DRG ties up the series 1-1 between himself and Mixu. 3-3 between Club NV and Berserker. GG. GG, well played. We are going to the ace match. We're tied up 3-3 here. We're going to game number 7. And who gets fielded is the question. Who gets fielded? When it comes to Mixu there, again, it was so unfortunate. It was so unlucky there. We saw Mixu accidentally manually detonate his Banelings. We saw him, again, right-click on his own hatchery as well in the defense. Just a very chaotic defense there from Mixu. It did look like nerves got to him a little bit there. And, yeah, with that, DRG did take advantage of Mixu. And now we're getting ready for that ace match. Who is going to be coming out? Who is going to be coming out here? Players are being chosen. It's going to be a tough decision. Meanwhile, we've caught up. Let us go. Bam. We have caught up here with the clean feed. Again, it's something that we were struggling with earlier because the stream went down. But who do you think? Okay, from Club NV, is it DRG or Creator? I mean, I guess Creator did 2-0, but it was a close series between himself and DNS. So, I mean, that was still not a sure thing. It's going to be a best of 1 on Crimson Court. Do we send out Creator or DRG? From Berserker, who do we send out as well? Mixu, he was able to take a game off of his opponent, but it was very map dependent. Speaking of, Crimson Court is not the... actually, is going to be a very interesting map as well. I would kind of favor some defensive play. I kind of want to see DNS, but we have our answer. We have our chosen players here. From Berserker Esports, it's going to be Battle B. From Club NV, it's going to be Creator for this best of 1 ace match. Let's go. Again, Creator does make sense. Battle B was an interesting choice. I'm curious, can Battle B keep up with someone of the caliber of Creator? It's a best of 1. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. If you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets on who you believe this game or who you believe will win this series, Club NV or Berserker. It all comes down to one singular game. We could even proxy, right? There's so much on the table here. We could go for a proxy. We could go for a more standard game. 2 base all in. Here we go. In the bottom left, we have for Berserker Esports, Battle B. And in the top right, we have his opponents. We have Creator for Club NV. Catching him in the chat. I feel like Battle B is a poor choice. I'm not so sure about that. Like, I was liking the idea of sending DNS out. I would have loved to have seen a rematch between DNS and Creator. If they picked Battle B here, it has to be for a good reason. I imagine Battle B, they have to have tried. Like, I feel like Creator was not a wild pick, so this has to be a snipe, right? This has to be a counter pick. I imagine Battle B has something special in store for Creator. I have to imagine. We'll see. Whether it's that, whether it's confidence as well, that's another thing to bear in mind when it comes to these Team League matches, is that the reality is, because DNS went down 2-0 earlier, his confidence might be shook. Depending on how players take losses, he could be in a bad mood right now. Like, he could just be unmotivated after the losses, and that does impact your play. Like, your mood does impact how well you perform, how well or how poorly you can perform in a game. So that could be another factor here when it comes to picking another player, is their current state of mind. Likewise, Mixu also just now taking a loss to DRG would also be a factor as well when it comes to how the players feel. Here we go. For now, it's going to be a double gas opener out of Battle B, so he's going for a faster factory. It's going to be an aggressive build here from our blue Terran player. This could lead to a 1 base all-in. I'm not too fond of 1 base all-ins here on Crimson Court. This should just be racks into factory into command center. And this opener can lead into Reaper Hellion. It could lead into a Widowmine drop, could lead into Cyclones early on. I feel like Cyclone openers have fallen off in the new patch, but it's still viable. It's still an option for Battle B. Here we go. Speaking of, there's a command center in the main base. It is going to be thrown down in the main. It is going to be safe from any kind of prying adept or zealot opener. It is going to be safe inside main. And Battle B has yet to go in as Creator. He's going for a robo-based opener. Now, if you've been watching Creator over the past 2 months, you would know that Creator is very fond of these robo builds in PvT. He's done it time and time again. We've seen it in the ESL Open Cups. Have seen it in qualifiers. This is Creator's go-to build in Protoss vs Terran. That's the downside of Creator, is that for certain matchups he can be very predictable. He has a distinct playstyle against Zerg and a distinct playstyle against Terran. This is just a very safe way to open up. Now, what I will say though is that Creator is one to vary it up with this robo-based opener. He could play very defensively, getting into a fast Bay, getting into fast Colossus production, or he can double down. As we can see, 2 more gates on the way. I think he's going for a Prism after this Observer. So he can be aggressive here with some gateway units. He can be a little bit more assertive on the map as he techs up and transitions into a robo-based build. So the reason why I say that this is a very safe opener out of Creator, say very safe, or very defensive, maybe that's a better way to put it, is because you lack any way to really be aggressive on the map and really be assertive, as there's no blink, there's no phoenixes, there's no way to shut down and be proactive against drop play. This just does give you access to faster immortal production and faster Colossus production. As the Observer's moving out. There's that Bay on the way that we did mention, and there's the Immortal on the way as well. There are some players that skip this Immortal and go for a faster third, but that's really greedy. The reason for that is because you need something to defend against an early game push, and if you lack the Immortal, then you could just die then and there. So it's a risk you take to skip it. We can see the Creator is making it just to be safe. The Bay is on the way behind this. That's going to be for Colossus production, and that should shut down any kind of bio-based play in the early game. Speaking of bio, we do have Marines moving out, but do we have much at home to defend? We have a shield battery and overcharge handful of units. The first Immortal is going to come out just in time, and Battlebee does not commit. But Battlebee is going for some Banshees. Very interesting. He's going to be incorporating a handful of Banshees. There we go. One is on the way, second on the horizon as well. Banshees are more unorthodox in this matchup, but we do see it from time to time. Banshees can do a surprising amount of damage to workers, to the economy. And there we go, the first two Banshees are making their way across the map. Third CC's on the horizon as well. Battlebee being quite greedy, rushing to the third, almost at the same time as Creator's third. Something you don't see too often. So a very macro-oriented build here from Battlebee. He is applying pressure, but he's being quite greedy behind it. Yes, be careful. Cloak is done. Getting into the mineral line. Do we have detection? Yeah, we do have an observer in the main base. The main army does clash with the Immortal, though. Tank till siege. Banshees, they get into the main. The observer is in position, though. And we force back those Banshees. Yeah, good positioning here by Creator. And the Banshees, they do not get enough done. They get 2 probes, and that is it so far. At the same time, the main army of Battlebee gets deflected. Now, thankfully, Battlebee doesn't throw away too much. He doesn't commit, he doesn't throw away his army, he does retain his Marines, and more importantly, his tanks. So Battlebee keeps everything alive. The Banshees, likewise, is still alive as well. They can always come in and get more damage later. But Creator, he gets away with his build. He gets away with his early Colossus production, and he gets away with his third. So both players have been building up towards the mid game, and we've gotten here. Who do I give the edge to? I kind of like Battlebee's position because of his fast third. Like, this third is faster than normal. It is unorthodox. And he's getting away with it so far. It is going to allow him to get into Viking production, get into additional starports, once he realizes what's going on. He's not quite there yet, though. But he will have a boosted economy. Behind this, Creator refining or supporting his army with Link Stalkers. +1 is on the way. Creator is going to be rotating over on the right-hand side, at least keeping most of his army there. Banshee does get into the main. We get two more probes. Not bad. 2 more workers. Bearing in mind that still the Banshees, they do remain alive. They do still pose a threat here for Creator. And Creator is soon to be pushing. Oh my god, as we are incorporating a Dark Shrine. Shrine is on the way. +1. Send double lance. Blink as well. We have the Prism to reinforce. It's all coming together for Creator. Meanwhile, Battlebee is moving out. He's going to be spotted. So Creator is aware. Meanwhile, some of these bases can be difficult to push into. Battlebee is going straight for the 4th. Trying to force himself up the ramp. And Creator's in position. Yeah, he's there, he's waiting for him. Bearing in mind that Battlebee only moved out with his Marines, he kept his tanks back at home, so he had no intention of committing. Just applying some pressure. Which I do appreciate. Battlebee, he doesn't commit. So you can see on the production tab, Battlebee, he's working towards a Ghost Academy, 2-2, Concussive Shell, as well as Viking production. And because of the faster third, Battlebee maintains a supply lead. Again, because of how greedy he was, that is translated into a larger army. And now we arrive with the tanks. We have made it. Tanks, they do siege up. Good volleys on the army. Good boys so far, and Creator, can he even hold on to this base? That's a lot of tank shots going off. Big connections. At the same time, double drop here at the third as well. Creator, he's in a lot of trouble. Force a recall. And Creator, he may have to just give up on the fourth. And there it is. The fourth is going to go down. Big pick up there by Battle B. Very nicely done. He gets 6 probes and he kills the Nexus. And from here, all he has to do is back off. He doesn't have to commit. Just has to race back home and survive and defend the counterattack. Creator is pushing. He's trying to catch out these tanks. Trying to force field. Doesn't quite connect. Doesn't quite land. The army slips away. We do deny the 4th base of Battle B. Prism slips in. Ooh, 1 tank goes down. But the Prism goes down in the main base, and Creator, he cannot pull Battle B apart. And Battle B, he's snowballing out of control. Again, you can see how powerful a fast third base like this can be. Not just that, I should say, but also really patient play out of Battle B. I was trying to put a little bit of emphasis on the fact that whenever Battle B was posturing, whenever he was moving out, up until the most recent tank push, Battle B never committed. He was always just poking, prodding, just dancing with the army, was rotating his forces and building up towards that eventual tank push, and he did catch Creator out of position. And that led to this moment, to the lead that Battle B has, but the Invisible Man slipping in. DT does get into natural. SCVs are going down. A good amount of them. 10, 11, 12 SCVs. At the same time, Creator rotates over towards that 3rd base. Doesn't quite push in though. Battle B keeps up. But that was a big blow to his economy. Remember, that wasn't just 12 workers. That was 12 workers for only 1 Dark Templar. And now Creator is getting into Disruptors. We are refining the army. Purification Nova is going to be available. Creator shaving off a couple units, pulling back. Battle B, he has maxed out. Has a good Viking count. More importantly, has EMPs available. And that's what it's going to come down to. It's going to come down to the positioning, to the EMPs, to how we do engage. I do love that Creator, he's intentionally keeping his Colossus back. Because of the Viking count, he has to slowly shave off the Viking count first, and then the Colossus can push forward. Otherwise, they'll go down for free. Creator is very aware of that. Nova goes up. Ooh, big connection. Big connection on the army. Once again, Nova going up as well. And oh, we didn't see it, but we heard it. That was another big shot going off. So far, good trades here by Creator. Do apologize for the slideshow, but the clean feed is having some connection issues. So that is affecting our viewing of it, unfortunately. But it's okay. We've casted slideshows before. It's fine. It's fine, Copia. So Runway slipping in from behind. Going for the 3rd. Only a handful of Zealots at the same time, a Prism towards the left-hand side as well. Now, when it comes to the lead that Battle B had, and he did have a big lead, that lead has slowly slipped away, and now we have more of an even back and forth. Creator, he's pulled himself back into this. He is holding his own. This is still anyone's game. Well, again, I'm quite impressed here by the first half. But it is still Creator. Still one of the best Protoss out there. Not going down easy. We have 4 DTs poised to go for another counterattack. Battle B, he's catching Creator out of position. You can see him go right through the middle. Okay, Creator, he does have Colossi. Remember, he did keep his Colossi pinned back intentionally, and looks like he is in position. Okay, he's turning back around. The Roxay did buy time. Again, that's a lot of rocks to work through. That is a lot of rocks. Battle B pulls back. And again, that's the hard thing about Alcyone. We spoke about this before, but applying pressure to these fringe bases, to specifically the linear 3rd that Creator has on the right-hand side, it's so difficult to really push in there. Meanwhile, the tank goes down, gets a couple of shots off. Creator, not where he needs to be. This base is exposed. And top left is going to fall to the drop. Good pick off there by Battle B. Gets 1 Nexus. At the same time, though, Creator, he wants to go for the kill. Goes for the center. Does not gain ground, though. Nice EMP. Does deny any kind of recall. And EMP's the Nexus. Overcharge goes off. Creator, he's turning back around. He is dealing with this drop. Yeah, he'll clean it up. But that was a good counterattack there from Battle B. Kill the base, force back the army. Battle B can now recover. And he's knocking down these rocks, making it that much easier to rotate between these two halves of the map. Still a very tense moment. Throughout all this aggression, Creator, he's taking up into Skytoss. The disruptors are exposed! Good target firing here from Battle B. He does focus out as many disruptors as he can. He gets 3, he gets 4. He gets every single one. Gets all the disruptors. Sims on board, going for the Immortal as well. And before Creator can get into Skytoss, he's in trouble. Creator, he needs a little bit more time for the carriers. The Vikings, they come in. They get a Colossus. We're still on forward as well. We're getting on top of the Robo. Prism goes down. The Robo as well. Very good pickups here from Battle B. The carriers, they have arrived, but it may be too little too late, as Battle B cleaned up almost every single Robo unit. DTs are being a nuisance here. We're pushing him back. Creator chasing this down. Good EMP here on the Stalkers. We still have a handful of Vikings. They do get shut down. But that was a very efficient fight out of Battle B, trading out his bio for so many disruptors, most of the Colossi. Battle B has to back off for a moment. Only for a moment here to regroup. Then he can keep on pushing. Meanwhile, Creator is getting to his carriers. I believe he has 2, soon to be 5, potentially 6. The carrier count is getting higher. And what's important here is that Creator didn't lose any workers. Creator, he still has 81 probes. So his economy has been left untouched, but he find another disruptor. Disruptor goes down. Big pickup. Yeah, Creator not quite in position. Carriers have arrived. Do get a ghost. Activate the cloak. Creator, can he hold? You know, we try to go for another base, we won't be able to get it. Good blinks, good juggling out of Creator. Very nice control. Creator turning water into wine, catching out Vikings as well. He gets 1, he gets 2. Doesn't sound like a lot, but this game is getting scrappy. Every unit counts. Oh, almost gets another Viking as well. As Battle B is making 4 Vikings at a time. Did get a couple of probes. Creator rotating around. And it looks like Creator is trying to deny top left. Can he though? Whereas top left is a planetary, or is it? Center left is. We're about to see. We're about to find out. Yeah, it is just now finishing up as a planetary, just in time. Good scan out of Battle B. Does spot the army. Does spot it rotating. Oh, meanwhile, Creator going to Storm. That's a bold move. But it may fare better than Disruptors, as so many Disruptors have gone down. We have not rebuilt that second Robo, so Storm is going to be the answer. Both armies are in position. Good concave here by Battle B. And we don't have any Storms left. We have 1 Disruptor, sorry, 2. We have 2 Novas available. We activate the Cloak. Had Templar have arrived. Storm, it's about to finish. It's going to be about whether what lands first, the Storm or the EMP. Battle B has maxed out. Creator not so far behind. We go for Viking. Viking for a Stalker for 2. The army getting zoned away. Storm here on the bio. Nova's going off as well. So far so good, but the concave is still solid here from Battle B. Gets the Mothership. Mothership goes down and Vikings are being thinned out, but we do collapse some of the carriers. And the carriers are falling one after the other. GG gets called. Battle B, he breaks through. And Berserker Esports will take the series 4-3. GG. Poppy. GG, well played. I believe we only had 1 Storm. We had like 3 High Templar at least, but we didn't have as many Storms connecting. The good spread with the Vikings, I don't know if you saw, it was only a couple of frames because of the latency, but we did see a good surround, a good concave there from the Vikings. avoiding the storms themselves, collapsing on those carriers. GG, well played. The upset is real. And Berserker Esports, they take the series, advancing on to the upper bracket finals. Now, Club NV is still in Code A, but they get knocked down to the lower brackets. GG, well played. A big shout out to Berserker. A special shout out to their players, to DNS, to Mixu, and to BattleB as well. They all played their part. They all did well here tonight. Mixu going 1-1 with DRG. The build specifically on Post Youth, I feel like was very smart. Very smart play out of Mixu on Post Youth. Likewise, BattleB asserting his dominance over Mondo. And even DNS, even though he didn't take a game off of Creator, if you watch game one at least, DNS he held his own, and he was even looking ahead and looking poised to take it. He did not look bad against Creator. And of course, BattleB to end it all. I did see some doubters in the chat doubting the decision to whip out BattleB. I was one of those as well. I was like, yo, is BattleB really the right player to whip out? Is he really the right response against Creator? The answer is yes. The answer is yes. BattleB, that's a big win for him. Very well done. We're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we have our second series of the night. We have Twisted Fairy versus Offside. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Ooh, we just wrapped up with our first match here of the night of WTL 2024 Summer Code A, day number 4. We just wrapped up with Berserker Esports versus Club NV, and we had a massive upset with Berserker coming out on top. Very nicely done. A shout out to Feral, the owner of Berserker that's in the chat. And now we're getting ready for our second match of the night for Twisted Fairy versus Offside. Here we go. We have our first match ready for our Stats versus Rex in a PvZ. Vamonos Papi quickly going over the matchups themselves, the lineups themselves. It is going to be Stats versus Rex in a PvZ, Nice versus Euthermal in a PV Random, and Classic versus Firefly in a PvP. If you're curious, what team is Twisted Fairy? It is a collaboration between Twisted Minds and Little Fairy. Two big teams, they've joined forces here, coming together to compete in WTL, and because of that, their roster is a little bit more bolstered than it normally would be. So great to see these two teams come together. Meanwhile, Offside is a branch off of Onside Gaming. Onside Gaming is no longer a thing. They were acquired by Team Vitality, so all the Onside members are now representing Team Vitality. Meanwhile, Offside is a branch off. They're still willing to support some of the other up-and-coming players. And here we go. In the bottom left, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have Rex for Offside. Here we go. Offside is an interesting team. I feel like they have a lot of potential as a team. Like Rex has been putting in a lot of hours. He's been practicing quite a lot. We have Firefly, of course, the rising star of 2023. One of my favorite players right now to watch, to cheer for. Has been doing very well for himself and has been on the rise. Likewise, we have Euthermal, the YouTube man himself, always out here looking to make some content happen, looking to make some shorts and some TikToks, and he's all about the content. Do love it. So it's an interesting team that's come together, and I look forward to seeing how well they can do. As Rex, he's going into the goal. He's crazy. Okay. So we've loaded into Post Youth. As a reminder, Post Youth is a predetermined map, so the players did not choose to play on this map. It was forced and thrust upon them, and Rex is going for a hatch gas pool with that gold base. Now I say risky because, as we've seen time and time again, usually in a ZVP, Zerg players have been avoiding this gold base and taking it as a 4th or even a 5th base instead, because of how exposed it is, because of how vulnerable it is, as Stats is taking his own. So we'll see if Rex can maintain this gold base and keep it alive. I'm curious how he will. Now, typically we have seen if a Zerg player does take this gold base, they go into roaches. They play a roach heavy style to be aggressive, to be assertive, and to keep the pressure on their opponent and to obviously defend that gold base as well. I imagine Rex is going to do the same. We'll see. We'll see how this all comes together. Likewise, we'll see how Stats attempts to punish this base. Typically with Adepts and Oracles, but we'll see. As Stats is going for his own gold, Queens are getting up and running. And I believe if you are in the chat, predictions, I think, are closed now. They were once open, so I hope you got your bets in. Hope you managed to get your gamba on while you could. Just checking. Yeah, predictions have since closed. Okay, we do have most people going for the Stats 2-0. We have some faith in the 1-1 score as well. Do appreciate it. Wish you all the best. Wish you the best here, as it is going to be a Twilight Council opener. So Stats, he's going to be doubling down on aggression. This makes sense. Stats, he isn't the most aggressive player out there, but upon seeing this gold, I mean, mate, you cannot just let it get up and running. So with this Twilight Council opener, it looks like either it's going to be Glaive Adepts or a Dark Shrine. We'll keep an eye on Stats to see what he whips out. There it is. It's going to be Glaives. At the same time, we do see a Ling Bane all in. It's going to be a Bane bust here from Rex. He's going all in across the map, flooding Lings, throwing down the Bane nest. Who hits first? I believe Rex will hit first. His gold base is being denied, though. That is brutal. That's a lot of income he's otherwise being deprived of to make this all-in happen. But the gateways are still just now on the way. Banelands is about to finish. I think Rex can pull this off. There we go. Banelands are in production. Can Rex bust through before we can get a massive amount of adepts, a critical amount of adepts? There's no shield battery. No shield battery, no overcharge, no nexus, no nothing. Rex, he can pull this off. I want to believe he's rolling in. He's waddling in towards that natural base. And it looks like we will break through at least the front line. Adept does go down, and we break in. We do break in. We get a surround here on the Adepts. The pylon is exposed. It's going to be shut down as well, depowering both these gateways. And with that, what does Stats have left? We depower the gateways. We bust into the main. 2 gateways are just now finishing. We have 1 Adept here and a mineral line. Rex splitting up his lanes, headed for the gold, headed for the main. Prism has arrived. The Prism actually repowers those gateways. Smart move out of Stats. Repowers 1 gateway. But the wall is still wide open. Lings are flooding in. Banelings are headed for the mineral line. They're waddling in. And Stats, does he split? Does he react? He does pull away. Again, we're casting a bit of a slideshow. We're trying to piece together what's going on. The wall is up and running, but a Baneling does connect with the probes. 1 connection. We need 1 more. We need 1 more connection. It's not going to happen. The Banelings are focused down, and Stats, he's defending. Stats, he cleans up the Ling Bane in his main base. More Lings are flooding in. We go for the Cyber Core. That's going to be a big pick off. But Stats, he forces back the Lings. Uh-oh. The Cyber Core survives. Stats doesn't lose too many workers at all. Stats, he's still on 35. Remember, Rex, he was completely all in. He has to end the game here and now. He needs to end it. There's no turning back. We're trying to break through, and the Cyber Core will fall. We break through the Cyber Core. We break through the gateway. We have sentries. We have force fields. Stats is getting across the map. A little bit unnecessary. He doesn't have to. GG gets called. He holds. He survives. And Stats, he takes game number 1. GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. Rex, I was not opposed to the all-in, by the way. I was not opposed to what he was whipping out there. Things were looking good. He broke through the front line. He flooded into the main and into the natural. And Stats only had 1 Adept. He had 1 Adept. How do we bounce back? We are here to find out. Wonder why Stats did not represent Twisted Fairy in GSL. As we're getting into our game, here we go. In the top right hand corner, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, we have Rex for Offside. To answer that question, I believe Stats is only representing Twisted Fairy for WTL. I believe it is only an agreement for WTL. I do not believe Stats is officially on a team representing them elsewhere. From my understanding, let me just double check. But from my understanding, that is their current agreement that they do have. Yeah. So it's kind of like Stats is a mercenary for Twisted Minds. You know, again, he's only on them for WTL. For individual tournaments and for other team leagues, he's a teamless player. And we have our answer when it comes to our build of choice. It is going to be the gold as a natural. We're rushing into the gold base. Rex, bold move out of him, but what we were just talking about here is that if Stats sees this ahead of time, he will look to punish it. He won't just let you get this gold base up and running. He won't just allow you to get into an economic advantage, an economic lead. That's not going to happen. So can Rex hold? Can he hold? Can he survive? Can he get away with this? Let's go. Thought Rex had it. I thought so as well. That was crazy. that was a crazy defense there out of Stats. As Stats is soon going to be moving out for a bit of a scout across the map. Meanwhile, Hatchery's getting up and running. Stats is going for a 2-gate opener, by the way. Okay. So with these 2 gateways finishing up for Stats, he's going to be able to get into double Adept harass quite quickly here. Oh no, wait, never mind. My apologies. That was a Nexus first. Okay, never mind. So with the delayed Cyber Core, that's going to delay our aggression. Go base is getting up and running. As we speak, we are droning up as heavily as possible. And we'll see what kind of tech Stats goes for. As Stats, he does confirm the gold. So we could go for another Twilight Council, which would make sense. Or we could try to go for some more passive Oracle harassment instead. As there we go. We should be able to make 2 Adepts at a time. 2, followed by 4, followed by 6. Rex is getting into his 3rd. And we're just waiting for that tech, and we have our answer. It's going to be the Stargate. Okay. bold move here out of stats, but it's going to be a Stargate opener instead. This tells me that he wants to go for, again, just some light aggression with Adepts and Oracles, maybe confident that he can get damage done, even if he doesn't commit. We'll see. As the first two Adepts are moving out. They're headed for that mineral line. Two Adepts do one-shot drones, bear that in mind. I'm loving the Evo Chamber block here by Rex. Does preserve his units. Does zone away those Adepts. So good defense so far. Behind this, yep, it's going to be an Oracle out of stats. Shouldn't be a surprise here. This should be a triple Oracle opener into a third. Speaking of, there's a third base. Quite a greedy third, to be honest. A little bit earlier than we're used to, but it's going to get up and running, and Rex won't be able to punish it as we do have Adepts in position. So quite a greedy third here from stats before the first Oracle arrives. And so far, Rex, he is getting away with that gold. So far. So far, so good. And where is this going to lead us? With this base being taken, I imagine it's going to be an all-in out of Rex. I'm just waiting to see when he cuts workers. When does he stop droning? That is what I'm curious about. Also, Shema in the chat. Shema, papi, Shema. Ah. Dzień dobry. Bienvenidos. Going for a bit of a gateway explosion, getting up to 4 gates. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Lings, they do get a surround. Where's the shield battery? Good surround here by Rex. He does get one Adept, going for the second. Doesn't quite get it though. There we do get an extra warp in. Decent positioning, but one more Adept goes down. Good pickups here by Rex. He's still droning. Looks like he's droning up to at least 55. Three-way saturation is 66 for those curious. It should be a little bit less than that actually with the gold. And I imagine we're going to be pushing on 3 bases, but we'll see. We shall see here. Stats going for a standard follow-up, going into +1 and blink. And if they run into the Lings, they do shave off a couple of them. But we don't quite have enough to threaten the gold base itself. Just clearing up creep. Keeping Rex pinned. And again, so far, Rex has done quite well for himself. Holding on to this gold, minimizing losses. 4th hatchery is on the way. We've yet to determine whether or not the 4th is just for larva or if we're going to be saturating it. I'm curious myself. Meanwhile, Stats is taking up even further. Okay. So Stats, instead of doubling down on mass gateways, he's throwing down a Robo and a Templar Archives. He's working towards Archon, Storm, Immortal production. Stats, he's going for a macro game. He's chilling. Okay, you can have the gold. That's fine. What are you going to do with it? What are you going to do about it? There it is. Storm is now in production. Stats just, yeah, allowing Rex to hold on to his economy here. Has yet to make a drone. Rex, I mean. He droned up to 57 a while ago, and he has still not made an extra worker. Still focusing on Roach production. I'm feeling a 3-way soul in here out of Rex. I'm feeling a timing here with +1 in charge. Like +1 in charge, it's about to finish. Yeah, we're making Lings. We're making Lings behind this instead of workers. That 4th hatchery, as we mentioned, is just for larva. So here we go. We have an all-in being set up here by Rex. Stats, can he hold? Can he survive this? Ooh, as Stats, he's taking a 4th. Now is not the time. He is taking a 4th base, but it's so exposed. And here we go. The all-in from Rex. It has arrived. Moving out, hitting the 4th. Diving on top of the army. Oracles, they dive on those Ravagers. They focus one of them down. But the ground army for Stats, it's barely there. Again, we were teching. We're taking up into a Robo. Storm is about to finish up. Overcharge is popped. We're going for the High Templar. The High Templar exposed. Shield battery goes down. And where is the Storm? It's not there. We get both High Templar. Good snipe here out of Rex. It looks like he's snowballing out of control. He's breaking Stats. Punishing him. Mate, you let me take the gold? You let me take advantage of it? This is what happens. This is what happens with the uncontested gold base. As we're breaking through, Stalkers are going down one after the other. Queens have arrived. Stats, he's trying to pump out as many Immortals as he can. He does come out with one of them. Good blinks here with his Stalkers. Can he survive this? He does bleed out 14 probes. But there's just too many reinforcements. Rex should have enough. He should be able to break through, especially without an overcharge. Yeah, the Roaches, they get into the mineral line. They get behind the mineral line even. GG gets called. Rex, he does it. Pulls off the 3-base all-in, and Rex ties up the series 1-1. GG. Bobby, let's go. GG, well played again. Rex, as a reminder, he droned up to 57, did not make a single drone past 57. He only got the 4th base for Larva. It was just for show. And Stats was getting ready for a longer game. Stats, he assumed that the 4th was for saturation. He assumed that Rex was droning. That's a lot of assumptions that were wrong in the end, as Rex was going for an all-in, and Stats gets caught with his pants down. Stats, he was working towards charge, working towards upgrades, working towards Storm alongside Robo and Immortal production, and a 4th base as well. Like, there was just so much tech and so much production on the way. We were skipping warp-ins, skipping the army. That's why Stats was woefully underprepared for that all-in. Wasn't ready for it, didn't see it coming. We have a series. We have a series here. We have a back and forth. Rex achieving more than I think a lot thought. I mean, I did mention before, the predictions were heavily in favor of Stats 2-0ing. Rex pulls off the 1-1. And now we're getting ready for our next best of 2. It's going to be a best of 2 between Nice and Uwu Thermal. Now, the thing about Uwu Thermal here, outside of the fact that he's a weeb, I love you, Mark, I love you, is that he is competing as a random player. If you've been watching the CranKy Ducklings this past month, you would know that Uwu Thermal has been more and more active as of late in online tournaments, in ESL Open Cup Asia, in WTL, of course, in the qualifiers, and Uwu Thermal has been competing, and even in the EPT, the EPT Spring qualifiers for DreamHack Dallas. Uwu Thermal has been competing in everything as random, not as Terran. Now, what I will say, having casted a lot of Uwu Thermal recently, is that his other races are not as strong as his Terran. His Terran is still his best matchup. His Zerg is his worst, and his Protoss is somewhere in the middle. We have seen his Protoss pop off. When it comes to Zerg, I think we've only seen all-ins from Uwu Thermal. Whenever he rolls Zerg, it's always like some kind of all-in. Very few, if not any, slideshow that we've been featuring here. Can I do that again? As we have our game, we're loading in. We have our players spawning in the top bottom left-hand corner. We have Nice for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have his opponent. We have Uwu Thermal rolling his Terran for offside. Let's go. We roll the dice and we roll Terran. Uwu Thermal, aka the YouTube man, as you can see here on the screen, his main race, his best race is Terran, and he has landed on it. And with that, that's a good start already here for Uwu Thermal. Prep Scout is coming in. The workers do come across each other. Now, specifically against Uwu Thermal, it's very important to Worker Scout because otherwise you don't know what race you're up against. So thankfully, Nice does piece it together. He already threw down the pylon, unfortunately, so he's going to be forced to wall off here in the main. Instead of walling off the Reaper Cliff. But here we go. We are settling into this. Hi. We are settling in. SCV comes in, does confirm the pylon placement as well. Is aware that he could potentially take advantage of that cliff, get into the main base, get a scout off. He's now aware of where to look for tech as well. As we are settling on in. Ooh, as that is going to be a double gas opener. Okay. Double gas is here from Uwu Thermal. Now, what I will say about Uwu Thermal, instead of just, general statements about, his races or his state of his race play and how good or how strong they are or how bad they are, what I will say is that Uwu Thermal is a very creative player. If you watch his YouTube channel, then you would be familiar with the fact that Uwu Thermal, he does try out a lot of different strategies, a lot of unique strategies as well. He's a very fun player to cast because of that. He's very unpredictable. So this double gas opener could lead into anything. I'm not expecting standard play. That's the one thing I'm not expecting. With double gas, this could be for a factory into Reaper Hellion, it could be faster Cyclones, could be a committed mine drop, it could be a 1-1-1 into a 1-base all-in. What I will say is that 1-base all-ins are not ideal on Alcyone. This map is very large, long rushes and spike ground. all-ins and general struggle here on this map. As we're going for a Reaper into Reactor. Okay. So this could be Reactor Reaper with Hellions support to harass. It's a bit of an old school opener, but it checks out. And Nice is going for his tech of choice, is going for a Stargate opener. Okay. Is going to be a Stargate opener here. Should be for Phoenixes to gain map control. We could go into Oracles, so that's a little bit more niche, but Oracles are definitely still viable here. As we mentioned, as we saw the Reactor on that Rax, it is Reactor Reaper into Hellion. As mentioned, it is a more old school way to open up. With this, you can be very active. The goal of this build is to get an abundance of Reapers and Hellions and to get economic damage done, to go for the mineral line, to get some probe kills. Is going to be the goal for you, Thermal. Not just that, but also scouting information would be nice as well, as the first adept does get across the map. Trading quite nicely against the Hellion. The Hellion is getting very low, by the way, as the adept does shade into the main, does confirm the 1-1-1, does confirm the add-on here on the Rax. The adept does go down, but did deal a lot of damage to that first Hellion. Yeah, the Hellion is one shot away from going down. And Thermal is moving out. Meanwhile, I said that it was a little bit more niche to go for the Oracle first, and that's exactly what it is. We have an Oracle on the way. Bold move. Bold move out of Nice going for the Oracle, is looking for some economic damage. We'll see if we can get it. Meanwhile, across the map, the Hellion and Reaper is denied entry into the main base. The Oracle shuts it down. Kills one Reaper, the other does slip into the main. Do manage to confirm the follow-up. We do get eyes on gateways. We get eyes on another Oracle, which means we know that there is no Phoenix as Reaper gets shut down. Revelation across the map. We get eyes on the tech up on the starport. Big scout. That should be for Ravens eventually. Speaking of Ravens, there it is. We do have interference matrix being researched. We do know. So it's been a pretty back and forth start here to the game. Has been pretty back and forth. Reaper gets across the map. We do get a kill on the probe. We do delay the third. Nicely done. And I'm waiting to see the follow-up here from Thermal. Oh, actually still being active with his Hellions. He could get into a mineral line. He's going for it. He's going for the natural. There is a shield battery, but no Stalkers in position. Reaper into the main base. Hellion into the natural. And we are getting some probe kills. 3 probes go down. A good start. Bearing in mind that Hellions do not scale well into the mid-game. So we want to trade as best we can with them. So we managed to get 3 workers. But only 3. Back at home, Thermal is getting into tank production. Interesting choice, as he knows it's not Blink Stalkers. So interesting to go into tanks from here. Building up Marines. We have a safety amount of... Well, we have a safety Viking and Cyclone to defend. And Thermal is going to be contained here to 2 bases for the near future, at least until Stim finishes. Thermal is stuck at home, and Nice is taking advantage of that 3rd base. Is probing, is teching, sending a couple units towards the main. Tank is in position. Big volley is going to be going off. We don't quite get the Stalker. We do get some hull damage. Meanwhile, Phoenixes, they get into the main base. They go for the Cyclone. They go for it. The Cyclone, it will go down. Likewise, the Phoenixes barely do survive as well. As we dive deeper into the bases. We dive deeper into the natural. We got 5 SCV kills. And the Phoenixes, they do survive. They take down the Viking. Very nice control out of Nice. Doesn't lose anything. Didn't lose a single Phoenix. Didn't lose a single Oracle. He gets 7 worker kills, Cyclone, and a Viking. Very efficient trade here by the Protoss. Very efficient. Again, Thermal just out of position with his Marines. Trying to go for some counter damage across the map. He gets 1 probe and 1 Stalker. That's something for energy. Not bad. As Raven comes back in. But it's a one-way trip. The Raven's going to go down. This is an expensive loss here for Thermal. Oof. Losing a Raven for, again, 1 probe and 1 Stalker. Not worth it. And interesting. Nice, our Protoss player, he's going for a +1 attack. Meanwhile, we're pulling the boys. It's a 2-base all-in. There is no third TC. This makes sense. Based on the losses here from Euthermal, it's been a rough start. It has to be an all-in. Did you get the revelation? But do we have anything to defend? Do we have any splash damage? Charge is about to finish. And nice, he may have to just give up on the third. It's all or nothing for Euthermal. Charge ult's on the way. Shield battery's ready. We have an overcharge. How good are the mine shots going to be? Tank is getting in position. Tank till siege. Good positioning here for Euthermal. Throws out the eBay. Zones the army away. Shield battery goes down. That's a wasted overcharge. Zeltse coming from behind, and they force a bit of friendly fire, but the tank does survive. Yeah, and this third base is going to go down. And again, we do not have an overcharge for the natural. And Euthermal, he can keep pushing. He has to keep pushing. We're still all in. We tap on the army. Tank goes down. Widowmines it. We're repositioning. No mine shots here whatsoever. The Zeltse wreak havoc. They mow through the Marines. GG gets called. Euthermal gets cleaned up. And Nice takes a 1-0 lead. GG. GG, well played. Again, Nice just had a beautiful start to the game, was pulling Euthermal apart. He was able to just wreak havoc with his Oracle Harass, with his Feast Harass. Likewise, the Hellion Reaper did not do enough either. Remember, it was an initial build that had to get some economic damage done. It killed 3 probes, only 3 workers, if I remember correctly. Alas, needs to get a little bit more done, especially with what happened in the aftermath as well. And in the end, Euthermal was forced into an all-in, took too many losses, too much of a deficit, and Nice, he was able to scout ahead of time, was able to scout, and thankfully Nice took a much more kind of mature approach to it. Did not try to save the third. The overcharge was premature, I will say that, but remember, Nice, he gave up on the Nexus, he let Euthermal have it, he knew that time was on his side, he knew that the third was not important, he had to just take it slow and steady, and engage once Euthermal backed off, once he unburrowed his Widow. The older maps in the give, Pappy, give. I look forward to it. And a big shout out to Coconut Games in the chat. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I'm assuming we had a nice ladder session there. Hope we gained MMR. And yeah, welcome everyone. Welcome to the WTL, to World Team League, day number 4. Oh boy, it's been a pretty intense week of StarCraft. I mean, there's been so much going on. There's been the GSL, there's ESL Masters Spring, and World Team League. 3 events all back to back to back. Some of it has been overlapping, unfortunately, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with too much StarCraft. As here we go, we're getting into our next game. In the top left, we have Nice. In the bottom right, we have Euthermal for offside. Let's go. Exclamation mark, shout outs. There we go. And we mentioned before, but if you're just tuning in, Euthermal, he is of course competing as random. Game 1, Euthermal rolled as Terran, but now we land on Zerg. Oh boy. And now I'm a little bit concerned, but I'm also excited. We spoke about this in the lead up to this series about how Euthermal, his strongest race is still his Terran, his weakest race is his Zerg. So this is less than ideal, but at the same time, whenever we cast Euthermal as a Zerg player, it's always an all-in. He's always got some kind of cheese, some kind of all-in up his sleeve. It's going to be a gas first build. Gas first by Euthermal. Speaking of cheese, this does allow him to get into fast link speed, does allow him to get into a fast lair as well. Oh boy, what are we going to do with this gas as Nice is coming in with a probe scout? Nice does not know what race he's up against, but now we'll confirm the Zerg. And he also confirms the timing of the gas, the timing of the spawning pool. Nice is aware of the opener here of Euthermal. And we have seen Euthermal fall in love with 2-base Hydra. We've seen a lot of 2-base Hydra play here out of Euthermal, and this could be the beginnings of it. Otherwise, it could just be a Ling Bane bust. Could be an all-in. We'll wait and see what Euthermal does with his gas, as he is about to hit that first 100. Hatchery's on the way. Is investing into a handful of links here. Does have 100 gas, and there it is. Link speed is on the way. Looking at his main base, he has not pulled out of the gas geyser. Very important, which does mean that this could be a Bane bust. Could be a Link Flood into a Bane bust, as we do have enough resources for that Baneling Nest. And we're not going for it. Interesting. No Baneling Nest here out of Euthermal. This could be for a Roach Warren, but we would have already seen a Roach Warren by now. So I'm feeling a lair. I'm feeling a lair out of Euthermal. Probe comes back in. Probe, it confirms no Baneling Nest. Confirms continued gas mining. Big scout there by Nice, and there's the lair on the way. This looks like 2-base Hydra. So Ling Speed into 2-base Hydra. Again, Nice did confirm it's not a Bane bust, so we see him cancel the wall. Does have a safety shield battery on the way. Nice taking this very seriously. Actually, my apologies. With this fast lair, Drop Lord. We're going for Drop Lords, of course. My apologies. I forgot he does this. Drop Lord should be on the way here for Euthermal. His Overlords are getting in position. Lair is about to finish. So it is going to be a Ling Flood with Drop Lords into the main base. Let's go. So again, I do apologize. When I saw the lair, my brain was like, oh, the Hydras are coming. I just wanted the Hydras, Pappy. I just wanted them. Feels bad, man. We're not going to get them. As things are moving out, we're still waiting for that lair to finish. Still waiting for that moment. Lings have been scouted by that hallucination. Lair is now done, and the Dropper Lords are upon us. But Nice, he's checking! No shot, he checks the main base. He does come across the Dropper Lords, and he will deny them. He will force at least one of them back. There's that Hydra we spoke about. Oh, with best of two worlds. So it's a Ling Flood into a Ling Drop into 2-base Hydra. So my initial read was still there. It is still 2-base Hydra. Unfortunately, the drops are denied. Euthermal, the Lings, they don't quite pay for themselves. This is brutal. Again, all these Lings, they could have been drones. They could have been better saturation. The Lings, they have not paid for themselves yet. Hydrogen is finishing. We're getting there. Euthermal still droning. And this is a rough position for Euthermal, just because Hydras are quite expensive, and ideally we would have liked to have dealt some economic damage to Nice. Nice has been happily chilling here on 2 bases. And we're getting into additional gateways, Robo's on the way, +1 attack as well. Read from the caster was correct, just needed the player's attempt to be stuffed. Ah, oh, Smooch. Feels bad, man, feels bad. Regardless, we're getting there, and I have to favor Nice here. I mean, he's taking up into a fast bay or into 2-base Colossus production. Okay, I'm assuming it's Colossi. It could be Disruptors. Wait, what? As Euthermal, he's going from 2-base Hydra into a 2-base Spire? Mutas? Oh, this is crazy. I mean, I guess you have to do something crazy in this position. What I'm concerned about here is that we've already spent a lot of gas on Hydras, on Hydra upgrades as well. Hallucination comes in, and Nice, he sees everything, including the Spire. Oh my god. And there we go, we do force a cancel. The Spire is cancelled, we throw down a Roach Warren instead. Euthermal taking in whatever direction he can. Again, he respects Nice enough to cancel the Spire as well, once he got scouted, and we'll see how Euthermal can piece this all together. It's a bit of a Frankenstein of a build from him, but I mean, I want to believe that it can still work, especially if Nice is too greedy. That's the caveat here. If Nice is too greedy, if he probes up too much, if he focuses too much on his economy, if he takes up too quickly as well, then Euthermal can take advantage of him. He can still bring this together. This is a YouTube clip-baiting build. Yeah, of course, mate. It's content first for Euthermal, okay? for the YouTube, man. It's all about the content, Papi. Let's go. As we are pushing back at home, Nice. He's building up on 3 bases. Shield batteries are finishing up just in time. We do have some force fields. We do have force fields available. Euthermal doesn't quite commit. He pulls back. Does pull back for a moment. Is droning up behind this as well. Euthermal, he's not all in. Bear that in mind. Trying to go for the Nexus, but Elastic Colossus does arrive, and he's forcing back the army. And Euthermal will be forced back. Now, if you're just tuning in from the raid, I do apologize if you do see if you do see basically a slideshow here. If you're curious, we are casting from a clean feed. We are not in the game, and the clean feed itself is having some trouble connecting to us, unfortunately. Not just us, but to all the other streamers out there. It's ourselves, it's Wardy, and I think some other language casters And we're all casting from the same clean feed, and unfortunately the connection is a little bit unstable. That's why you can see, you know, some basically like a slideshow, some frame shopping. Everything's okay on our end. It is just a connection from the clean feed. So I do apologize for that. There's just nothing that we can really do. The Chinese broadcasters, they already restarted their PCs. Like, they restarted their stream to try to help. Unfortunately, it didn't help. And at this, what else can they do as well, right? So, yeah, it is unfortunate. But regardless, still some amazing games are ahead of us. And here we go, Euthermal. Going to be threatening with roaches on the ground. Going to be distracting. Nice here at the third base. At the same time, going for a big Doom drop into the main. Nice, he's not in position. And he doesn't have enough for a recall. Drop is getting in. We have potential to get damage done. And probes are going down with deny mining in the main. At the same time, roaches are looking for a pickoff here on the front lines as well. As the roaches, they threaten that natural. They waddle into the mineral line. They head for the natural base as well. So far, only 5 worker kills. We do have a Colossi getting into the main. Hydras are getting shut down. Ooh, we do focus down the drop as well as Euthermal going for a tri-pronged attack. We have roaches in the natural, Hydras in the main base, and Hydras at the third as well. And he is getting damage done, but is it enough? It's going to be 18 worker kills. Burrow has completed. We do keep a couple of roaches alive, but we also bleed out a lot as well. Now, what I'm worried about here is that this might trigger a counterattack from Nice once he does clean this up. But again, do we have detection? We get on top of the army. The Immortal. Big pick off. The Immortal goes down. Very nicely done here by Euthermal. Gets the Immortal, gets an Archon. Is pushing forward, but alas, he's running out of roaches. At the same time, he unburrows in the natural, getting more probe kills. Probes are going down. And behind this, Euthermal is on 4 hatcheries. He's on a decent drone count. It's not amazing. He's on sub 3-way saturation, which is concerning. Only 55 drones. Euthermal's pretty all in. He's pretty all in here. He needs to do more than just kill probes. He has to kill Nice. And Euthermal, he does have the supply lead, but that is inflated supply. Roaches, they're burrowing into the natural. Unscouted, by the way. Nice, he doesn't see, he doesn't know, he's not in position. We're getting into the main. More probes are going down. Nice is getting pulled apart. And despite the chaotic start, remember, the lane drop did nothing, by the way. The lane drop did nothing. The 2-base Hydra did nothing. The Spire got scattered on 2 bases as well. Things were looking dire for Euthermal. And even initially in this harassment here, I wasn't fully convinced. But he's getting so much done. Another 12 probes go down. Nice, he just cannot keep up. Gets the Overlords. Gets on top of these roaches. Detection has finally arrived. We have an observer. Well, he hasn't killed Nice yet. Colossi, they are in position. Roaches, they try to dive on top of them, but they do pull back to the safety. The shield batteries. Yeah, 2 shield batteries in position to support. A cannon as well. Yeah, and Euthermal, he does overextend. He bleeds out too many roaches. And Euthermal, he's in trouble. He is in trouble. I spoke earlier, if Euthermal throws away too much, then he is vulnerable to a counterattack. And speaking of, I believe Nice is going for that counterattack. He's pushing out. He is pushing out. We can see Euthermal trying to go for a drop across the map, but alas, Nice is pushing right through the center, catches Overlords. And Euthermal, he just can't spend his resources, he can't spend his minerals. He's got almost 2,000 minerals, oh my god. An insane mineral bank. But the gases, that's what we're lacking. We can't quite spend our money. You can see that we're not fully saturated at the third when it comes to gases. And no gas saturation at the fourth either, just making as many roaches as possible. And we're bleeding out roaches as well. Rough losses here for Euthermal. He's going to try to burrow away. Going for more Dropper Lords. Investing more gas. But that drop did at least keep Nice busy. Nice is still at home. Still has not pushed. And I think that's the goal here for Euthermal, is to try to keep Nice busy while he can stabilize. As he's moving out once again. We do have, I believe, a Dropper Lord in the main. Nice attempting to take a 4th base. The drop in the main base is denied. We do catch an Immortal. Big pickup. Immortal goes down once again. Very nicely done. At the same time, we have Roaches hitting that fourth, but we do have an Immortal to defend. Oh, and Euthermal, are we bleeding? Are we throwing away too much here? Yeah, we have units in position. Nice, he's spread out between all 4 of his bases, and he is shutting down these Roaches. The diminishing returns are real here. Initially, Euthermal was doing well, but throwing away too much, but it looks like he should deny the fourth. Gets an Immortal. I spoke too soon. Yeah, nice, he wasn't too far away. He cleans up these Roaches. And now Euthermal, now he's able to spend his resources, but he's also running out of army. Euthermal is burning through his bank. Hydra's on the way, so getting back into a Hydra Roach, or Roach Hydra. But Nice has momentum. Nice has momentum on his side. And he catches the Roaches. I'm still waiting for the moment when Nice goes for a counterattack. He still has yet to do so. He's still building up. Again, just the non-stop Roach aggression. It just keeps dragging him back home. He forces a recall. So on the one hand, we're buying time, but the reality is that Nice has a better economy. The reality is that even with all these probe losses, Nice, he has a better economy, has better income, has a larger army as well, because we're throwing away far too many Roaches. And back at home, what do we have? Sure, we have a couple of Hydras, but, I mean, Colossi, they're ideal against them. No Lurkers. No Lurkers, no Hive Tech. No economy, no nothing. And Nice, he's finally breaking free, despite the chaotic nature of this game, despite the back and forth we had earlier. Nice, he's finally across the map. Now remember, he just recalled, so recall is on cooldown. And I was gonna say we may as well commit to the base trade, but, okay, yeah, he's committing. Nice, he kills the third, he's going for the fourth. He should kill these bases, but a base trade is maybe the best chance here for Euthermal. Can he pull this off? As more bases are falling, boys are being pulled. Trying to get on top of those Colossi. One of them is getting low, but alas, it's gonna survive. Will it? Oh, does go down. Good pickup. We do get a Colossus, we do get a Sudus around here on these Stalkers, but we do blink away. Nice, he does escape. And he kills 24 workers. And back at home, Nice, what did he lose? He only lost the fourth. And the storm is done. Big storms on the army. GG gets called. Euthermal, he runs out of steam. And Nice will take the series 2-0. GG. Nice, able to flex his skill here against the Terran and Zerg of Euthermal. And he does take a 2-0 lead for himself. Does take a 3-1 advantage for his team for Twisted Fairy. GG, well played. Again, Nice was coming in as the favorite player. I was looking forward to the builds of Euthermal, and mate, Euthermal, he was cooking with his Zerg. He was cooking there in that second game. Game 1 was a little more standard when it came to the opener, and Nice had a much more comfortable time there as a result, at least in the opener. And yeah, we were forced into an all-in there on Alcyone. Last Nice able to shut him down. Here in game number 2, we saw Euthermal wreak a lot of havoc. I was very impressed, by the way. Despite the start of the game where Euthermal stumbled, he was able to pull Nice apart, did an amazing job dealing economic damage to Nice, even picking off some high-tech units. But over time, we saw that Nice's army was getting bigger and bigger, and Euthermal was dealing less and less damage with his harassment. Again, over time, did less. There was some diminishing returns there with the harass, and eventually Nice was able to overwhelm, and Nice was able to snowball out of control. GG. GG, well played. We also saw, like, arguably, again, like, some lack of gas income or lack of saturation there, or efficient mining from Euthermal. Maybe that's a better way of putting it. Because he had just so many minerals and so little gas to work with. You could argue that maybe he should have been reinforcing with Lings to make use of that, or droning. Droning maybe would have been a better answer there, but regardless, GG. GG, well played. Now we're getting ready for the final best of 2 of this series, a PvP between Classic and Firefly. Let's go. Classic and Firefly are going to be facing off here, and this is going to be a wild one. So Classic is coming in as the favorite player, but Firefly regularly causes upsets. Firefly, he's an amazing player. He's the ace player of Offside. If anyone's going to bring it back for his team, it's going to be Firefly. It is going to be Firefly. Again, he is their strongest player, and he has been the rising star of 2023. Again, he's been looking so damn good, not just in his own region, but in online tournaments. Firefly even qualified for IM Katowice. He was a part of that offline event, was able to travel there and compete, and it's been amazing to see Firefly improve over the past couple of years. He has really shot up in skill, and it's been amazing to see his rate of progression. I have become a fan. Straight up, I have become a Firefly fan. So many people have been able to get behind him, and we'll see if he can bring it back for his team. It's not going to be easy. Not in a best of 2. Let's go. I believe he can take a game, but a series, that's something else. And here we go, spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. And in the bottom left, we have his opponent, we have Firefly for Offside. Let's go. Let us go. Firefly in the coat. Let us go. I mean, again, I believe in the 1-1 score, but you need more than a 1-1. Firefly, he needs to 2-0 Classic here and now to force an ace match. That's not going to be easy here. It is going to be an uphill battle for Firefly, but not impossible. Not impossible. Again, he's taken down players of the caliber of Classic before, but those are usually in best of 3s, not in best of 2s. Best PowerPoint I've seen in a while. Let's go. Let's go, Baku. I'm hoping you've seen a lot of PowerPoints recently. I'm hoping. As we're getting into our builds, it is going to be interesting. A double gas openers here all around. It is going to be a gate expand from both Firefly and Classic. With these faster gases, we could go for a Stargate. That is true. We could try and go for a Stargate before expand, but Nexus should be on the way. Here we go, as really it's going to be on both players to delay the opposing player's expansion for as long as possible. We have probes across the map. We should be going for pylon blocks. We should be being as much of a nuisance as possible. And based on the double gas openers, this should be leading into a Stargate first. There it is, Stargate from Firefly. We should be seeing a Stargate from Classic alongside this. And if both players open up Stargate, that should be leading into Phoenix Wars. And there it is, Stargate from Classic, Stargate from Firefly. Delayed expansions, Phoenix Wars are on the horizon. Oh boy. Let's go. Now, both players have scouted each other, so both players are fully aware that each other is going for a Stargate. That should trigger Phoenixes, and that should lead into non-stop Phoenix aggression. I say should. There is a world where some players try to pivot away, some players try to go into Blink Stalkers and try to transition out of it. It is very risky and very difficult to transition out of Phoenixes. We'll see if either player tries, as the first Phoenix is being built. Phoenix Wars, they have begun, at least from Firefly. Classic going for an Oracle first. Okay, let's go. We're not making Phoenixes. It's not happening. I mean, it is for Firefly at least, and he's going to be able to shut down that Oracle. But clearly, Classic does not want to get trapped into a Phoenix battle. Clearly, Classic wants to try to deviate and head elsewhere. Thankfully. And there it is, there's the Twilight Council. So we spoke about it. We spoke about how there are some players that try to transition into Blink Stalkers. It looks like that's the plan for Classic. We'll see if he can get there. We'll see if he can get away with it. Adept does shade in, but the Phoenixes are in position to deny it. We do shut the Adept down. Meanwhile, across the map, Firefly does slip in. Does manage to slip in. Big Scout does confirm that there are no Phoenixes being built. Oracle reveals itself. Oh, and we managed to get a lot of damage done. That is going to be 6 probe kills. Very impressive. Very nice damage here from Classic. And now he's chronoing out Blink. Now, before we can get to a critical mass amount of Blink Stalkers, Firefly has control. He has control of the map. He's moving out with his Phoenixes, and he can get some economic damage done. As he does catch a probe. But you can see Firefly, he's out of energy. Doesn't have a lot to work with. Does confirm that Blink is on the horizon. But yeah, you can see here, he just can't do anything here. He has to wait a little bit longer to gather up energy for a lift. And he has one. We go for the recall, and it looks like we do manage to break that lift, forcing a second lift instead. Oh, we did have a third available. We do reset the Stalker count, but we don't have any lifts left here to clean up any probes. And it's quite expensive energy-wise to pick up these workers. Another Phoenix is on the way. We can see Firefly getting to Immortal production. It makes sense. He will have a deficit when it comes to Blink Stalkers, so we need Immortals to make up for that. The Immortals are on the way. As we're just camping the mineral line, we get 2 more probes. Soon to be 3. Meanwhile, Classic is making an Oracle. Bold move. Right under those Phoenixes. Does have the Oracle on the way. Meanwhile, Classic setting up a proxy across the map, going and setting up for a counterattack. Uh-oh. His gateways are finishing. He's going for 4 Stalkers at a time. And do we have enough lifts? If we kill probes, we won't have anything to defend. He's going for the probes. Uh-oh. I mean, Firefly, he's getting a lot of economic damage done, but what about the ground army? Here come the Stalkers. We catch an Immortal. Trading 2 for 1. But we bleed out a 3rd Stalker. And here come the Phoenixes just in time. We shut down the Stalkers one after the other. We do have enough energy. We barely did have enough lifts. Do you lift, Papi? Firefly does. How much can he bench? 3 Stalkers. Ah, he's swole. And here we go. He does get eyes on the proxy. Is pushing forward. Warpin does finish though. There we go. We blink on forward. We dive on top of the Prism. Prism goes down. But Classic is bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Does get the Immortal, but this proxy is going to be shut down. Take down the pylon. Shut down the proxy. Classic, how do we bounce back? He's going for the gold. We're rushing into the gold base instead. Firefly taking a standard third on his side of the map. And we'll see if Firefly can punish this gold. Does get eyes on it. Is moving out. Doesn't have an Immortal yet. It's on the way. With the help of these Phoenixes, he's doing well though. Gets the Oracle, lifts up some Stalkers. The Immortal has arrived. And with the help of this Immortal, do we have enough? It looks like we do. Yeah, Firefly, he's breaking on through. We do force the offensive blink. But Classic, he loses everything. GG gets caught, he gets shut down, and Firefly takes game number 1. And then bring it back here. Can he force the ace match? Let's find out. As we're diving into game number 2 and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have Firefly for Twisted Fairy. Sorry, Firefly for offside. In top left, we have Classic for Twisted Fairy. Ooh, looks like the clean feed is struggling a little bit more than before. Aye. Hopefully we can bring it back. We're okay, Papa. We're okay. We're still in this. We're almost done for the night, WTL. Stick with us. Stick with us, man. As we load into Oceanborn, this should be a 2-gate opener. We should not have these economic greedy builds of going for a gate expand like we saw previously. We should be having a 2-gate into a more standard PvP. And I'm sure Classic is a lot more comfortable on a map like Oceanborn when it comes to 2-gate play. So we are going to have more of a back and forth, and it is highly unlikely that we get into Phoenix Wars here in this position. Very unlikely. we are settling into this. Nice carrying Twisted Fairy. He is. He is. Not gonna lie. So far he is. I mean, again, Classic is the strongest player on Twisted Fairy. I would say that. But he's also up against the ace player of Offside, right? Like, if there were any player to cause an upset into 2-0, it would be Firefly. Like, 100%. He would be the one to do it. He is the strongest player on his team for a reason. Because he's been able to go to toe and take it to the best players in Korea for quite some time now. Again, if you've been watching the ESL Open Cup Asias, for example, or Kung Fu Cups, or all these online events, especially the Korean-focused ones, then you would have seen the rise of Firefly over the past year. And we'll see how this settles, as Firefly is the first to expand, and Classic is going to be teching instead. Okay, so Firefly is going for a faster Nexus, Classic is going for a Stargate before expand. This should be for Oracles. This should be for Oracle production here to harass across the map. Basically, the dynamic is that Classic is going to be looking for some worker kills to catch up. Firefly has to defend. It's going to be on Firefly to keep up. We have our take of choice going for a Robo Opener. Very defensive here out of Firefly. I appreciate it. Very defensive play here from our Red Protoss. Reason why I say that, of all the techs that you could go for, where you have a Stargate for Oracles or for Phoenixes, or a Twilight Council for Blink, going for a Robo Opener does give you access to faster Immortals and does allow you to be very secure and defensive here on 2 bases. It's a much slower way to open up. It does mean that Firefly is going to be relinquishing map control, but he makes up for that with a secure 2-way setup. As this should be for Immortal production, I imagine. Meanwhile, Adept shades into the main. Oracle dives in as well. We do have we do have sentries in position, but alas, there's just too much going on. 4 probes go down. Very good harass there from Classic. Gets 4 workers, does back off. Alas, sentries they had to deal with the Adept first, followed by the Oracle. And Classic going for a gateway across the map. That's 3 gates on the way. Uh-oh. That's a lot. That is going to be 4 gates in total. 4 gate blink here from Classic. And Firefly has no idea. We need a hallucination scout here from Firefly soon. Going for a prism first. This should be to harass with Adepts. Speaking of Adepts, they're getting into the natural. Firefly does get across the map, gets 1 probe. Gets 2 even. With the help of the War Prism, he should be able to get the Adepts into the main. Should be able to ferry them in. Meanwhile, Classic going for a Phoenix. That should be able to shut down the Prism as well. The Prism does threaten the main. Going to be pulling back. Yeah, Phoenix has arrived, and the Phoenix will shut down the War Prism. Does force a recall. As the Adepts do shade into the natural, and we're focusing down a lot of probes. It's going to be 3. 3 probes go down. We can see the Firefly, he has not commenced Immortal production. He's going for a Twilight Council instead. This is dangerous. He does need an Immortal. The reason why I say this is because Classic does have a gateway lead, and he has a massive timing where he has Blink, and Firefly doesn't. And there we go, Immortal's on the way. The Immortal was delayed, which is scary, and he needs that Immortal as soon as possible to survive against this push. Or to survive against the aggression of Classic. Here we go. Classic is pushing in. We dive into the main. We go for the main base. We go for the pylon as well. That is Nartosis pylon, by the way. Up, and it doesn't go down. Oh my god. We do survive the shield battery, putting in some work there. And Firefly holds. I feel like that pylon should not be alive right now, but Firefly does hold on. Nothing gets depowered, and the Immortal has arrived. Firefly does get through the worst of it. He's going to be chasing this back. He can juggle, of course, with his Warp Prism. He has defensive Blink. And with that, he forces Classic to back the hell off. Third base is on the way. Very impressive here by Firefly. Back at home, Classic is transitioning into a gateway explosion, a third base of his own, and of course charge. Firefly, he can now move out. Now he has Blink of his own as it's finishing up in a couple of seconds. Here we go, we are moving out. Classic is ready for this though. Did have an extra warp in. We do get the Oracle and the Phoenix. Good pickoffs by Firefly. Does have the Immortal as well. Force Fields will zone it away. And Firefly does have to pull back. Boys are being pulled as well. Second Immortal has arrived. And Firefly, does he have too much? Does he have enough? Firefly is so close to breaking his opponent. Where's the shield battery? Where's the overcharge? It's not here. It's not here in time. No static defense from Classic, but the Zealots, they add a lot of health. They added so much buffer here for the army. The Prism juggling as best we can. We do save the Immortals. We save the Immortals, and Firefly, he does it. He breaks on through. And Classic, he has almost nothing left. The Immortal somehow survives. One of them goes down. Two of them go down. But it doesn't matter. It's too little too late. Firefly, he has done it. He's broken the third. Classic, there's no saving it. There's no holding on. Again, we've seen Classic take down these players in best of threes, but he does it in a best of two. GG gets called, and Firefly forces the ace match. GG. Oh my god. Bappy. Let's go. GG, well played. Again, Firefly, the ace player for Offside. He does it. He does force the ace match. Takes down Classic 2-0. And we find ourselves in Game 7 in the final game of this series. Oh boy, let's go. And I feel like there is only one answer. There's only one answer here. Who are the ace players going to be? It has to be Firefly. Firefly, he is the obvious answer for Offside to come out as the ace. The question becomes, though, who do we field for Twisted Fairy? Who do we send out? It is a team of Protoss, by the way. It's pure Protoss. Stats, nice and classic. I don't think there's a wrong answer, to be honest. I feel like a lot of it depends on the map, because Stats, nice and classic, they all have different playstyles. They all have different playstyles. Classic is more aggressive, Stats is more macro-oriented, and Nice is a mix of both. The final map is Crimson Court. Okay, interesting. So on the one hand, I do think that Crimson Court is a good macro map, especially when it comes to expanding on these fringe bases. You can extend the game and go longer. Rush distance by ground on the main attack path is very straightforward. I'm curious how Blink works on this map. We do have a lot of layers of rocks and a lot of layers of mineral patches. I'm not sure if Blink Stalkers can actually blink over them, or if it's too wide, too much of a gap. That could influence things, could influence how aggressive we want it to be on Crimson Court as well. It's a tough one to ask. Part of me feels maybe Stats. Part of me feels if we wanted to, instead of being aggressive like Classic has been and struggling against Firefly, if we wanted to go for a longer macro game, I feel like Stats would be a good answer to that. Stats would be a good solution. But we'll see. We'll see. Likewise, Nice has been on fire. Nice did 2-0 you Thermal. I'm sure Nice is feeling confident. But I do favor Firefly over Nice in general. Like, it's a tough decision to make. But the upside for Twisted Fairy is that Firefly is an obvious choice, so they can prepare for a snipe, right? Like, they can choose their player specifically for Firefly. And there it is! We did mention it. Firefly is going to be the ace player, and Stats will be the ace player from Twisted Fairy. We kind of worked through it mentally here about how Classic is more of an aggressive Protoss player, and if the aggression isn't working, time to turtle up, time to macro up into the mid game, into more of a later PvP. Stats does make sense here. Is he going to be able to keep up with Firefly though? Is he the answer to the problem that is Firefly? Here we go. Here we go. And if you're in the chat, predictions are open. Place your bets. It all comes down to one game. This is a best of one. Best of one here on a Crimson Court. Good luck, Pappy. Good luck. Firefly is the Giga Chat of WTL. He is. Firefly, he's taken down some big names in WTL. Rainer who? Maru who? Hey, Firefly doesn't care. Doesn't care who you are. Doesn't care if you're the best Terran, the best Protoss, or the best Zerg player. He will take maps off of you in WTL. That's just who Firefly is. And here we go. We're getting ready for that final game. Stats is the most reliable. I mean, I would just emphasize the fact that, again, Stats and Classic just have different approaches to PvP. And I do think that Stats is kind of like the yin to the yang that is Classic. Personally, I would say that Stats is like the yin to the yang to Hero, like Stats and Hero in Korea. But Classic is very similar to Hero in his playstyle, is very aggressive in general in every single matchup. Classic and Hero, they're cut from a very similar cloth. So I do like this choice here in general. And we'll see. We shall see. Cyril is the goat. Oh, get in line, Poppy. Get in line. Make way for Firefly, Poppy. But here we go. It looks like we have our game, and we are loading on in. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have Stats for Twisted Fairy. And in the top right, we have Firefly for Offside. This is it. It all comes down to this. The Ace match. Game 7 of this best of 7 Code A match. The winner will advance on into the upper bracket finals to face off against Berserker. The loser goes down to the lower bracket, where their life will be on the line. Their tournament life would be on the line, as those are where the elimination matches are held. Here we go. Here we go. I'm also double checking. I remember Firefly taking down Rainer. Did Firefly take down Cyril as well last season? Did that happen? Or the season before that? I know Firefly was popping off against the Zerg players in the last season of WTL. I would need to look that up. Yep, I just double checked. I was like, did I dream of Firefly beating Cyril? I did not. Oh, I mean, maybe I did, but that was also the reality. For those of you that maybe don't watch the CranKy Ducklings, or if you don't watch WTL, then you would know that Firefly did beat Cyril last season. Like, again, that's what I mean. There's something about WTL, and to be fair, I should talk about the format. One of the big reasons why Firefly has beaten players like Cyril and Maru and stuff like that is because it is loser's pick, and usually when Firefly is able to bring down some of these big names, it is because he might lose game 1, but game 2 he's able to pick his map and come in with a very specialized and prepared build. Like, WTL is unique in that way, where it favors preparation, because if you take a loss, you can predetermine and be ready for what that second map does entail. And that is kind of the speciality of Firefly, and the speciality of Starving Camels, like, coming into 2023. As here we go, we're settling on in. We do have Firefly opening up with a Robo. Very safe opener here out of Firefly. Can lead into a one-base all-in, depending on how many gateways we work with. As it looks like Firefly is expanding. Okay. So just very safe play here from Firefly, going for a Robo into expand. Meanwhile, Stats just going straight for the Nexus. 1-1 versus Cyril, yeah. I remember, Poppy, I remember. Dude, but he's crazy, Poppy, he's crazy. Oh, now, basically, with this Robo-based opener, we can go into fast immortal production once again. We can go for a War Prism early on to harass. We do have options here, depending on how Firefly wants to play this out. And there it is, immortal first. Okay, so we're going to be working with a very fast, very large immortal count early on for Firefly. We'll see how we can make use of it, as Stats back across the map is just taking up himself, getting into his own Robo production. Very wise choice here out of Stats. Upon seeing the immortals of his opponent, it should be wise to get into her own immortals as well. War Prism is on the way first. Now, I'm really torn about how Firefly is playing this out. Going for a robo opener like this is ideal against an all-in, is ideal against aggression. So it looks like he was reading that out of stats, and because of that, it may end up falling behind tech-wise if stats does head on further in towards Blink Stalkers, for example. But we'll see, because we have pretty similar builds overall. Meanwhile, there's a Twilight Council on the way from Firefly, so he is not going for a one-base all-in. Firefly, he may apply some pressure, but based on the tech here, does want to go for a longer game. Meanwhile, stats, he's poised to go for an Adept drop into the main. Okay, so we have Adepts. 2 Adepts do one-shot workers, so this Adept drop is quite deadly here as we make our way towards the main base. Meanwhile, Firefly, he's going for an Immortal drop across the map instead, which can get some damage done, but is a lot more risky, as it is a very valuable drop there moving out. A lot of resources invested. Adepts, they do slip in, and probes are going down. We get 1, we get 2. We get 3 as well. Late reaction there out of Firefly. He's focusing across the map instead. Going for the drop, but we have plenty in position. Firefly is deflected, and he does end up losing 3 probes, even 4 probes. Oof. So a good start from stats. He does take a worker lead. Firefly, he rotates around. He's headed for the natural, and he can force field the ramp. Very nicely done. Does get the force field. The Immortal does take a couple of hits. I believe we have a second force field available as well. There it is. We do lock the army out. And Adepts, they get into the middle line as well. Very good positioning here out of Firefly. And he does wreak havoc. He does get so many probe kills. 5, almost 6 probes going down. Can we get 7? Not quite. 6 worker kills. Very nice counterattack out of Firefly. Again, able to outposition stats. Stats, he couldn't recall back to the natural. Didn't have the energy for it. And Firefly, as he harasses, is taking a 3rd. And Firefly, he finds himself with a lead. Blink is pretty mirrored here with each other, so similar blink timings. Firefly, he keeps the Immortal alive, the Prism alive, faster 3rd base. And stats, he throws down 2 more gateways instead. Interesting. Very interesting. We're going for 2 more gateways here. I'm curious if stats decides to double down. We'll see, going for a double Immortal drop into the main base. Gets a couple of workers. Very nicely done. Gets 3. A blink isn't done. We should be able to hold our own. Yeah, we do pick up and get the hell out of there. So stats, he is bouncing back. And stats has yet to throw down a 3rd base. Uh-oh. And I don't think we plan to. Yep, 2 base all in. We're pushing. Stats is pushing. Okay, there's the 3rd base behind it. Does have a contingency plan, but he's going to be applying pressure to the 3rd. And can he break through? Can he break this 3rd base? Yeah, we're going for a warp in to reinforce. Firefly's in position. Does have the shield battery. Gets a Stalker. Does have the overcharge as well. And Firefly, he's fine. He holds. He will hold on. Adepts, though, they shade into the natural. And pulling the attention of Firefly apart. And we do get 3 probe kills and a lot of lost mining time. Very nicely done here by stats. Does delay the mining, does delay the economy here for Firefly. 5 probe kills. Ooh, that is not insignificant. As stats, he does rotate in between the bases. But again, Firefly is in position. Remember, Firefly did have the faster 3rd base, so the pressure was on stats to get economic damage done, and he did. And we dive in the army. The Immortal is late to respond. Good force fields as well. And stats, he zones Firefly away from his own natural. The natural is under fire. Boys are being pulled as well. And Firefly, he's in trouble. Having a hard time engaging. A lot of Stalkers not even fighting there. Yeah, the positioning was too good. The force fields are too good. And stats, he's overwhelming Firefly. Dives on top of the army. Gets the Immortal as well. And he gets 16 probe kills. GG gets called in 1 swift move. Stats, he does take the game. And he will take the series 4-3 for Twisted Minds. Whew, GG, well played. Again, he was able to outposition in the end. Very nicely done out of stats. Able to wedge his way in between the bases. Able to outposition. Able to throw down those force fields. And Firefly just could not deal with that army. Could not engage. Not like that. GG. Whew, but that was a solid series. Again, I do apologize for the frame drops and the rough connection that we did have with the clean feed, or the rough connection that the clean feed had with everyone else. I do apologize, but regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations to Berserker Esports and Twisted Fairy. They will be facing off against each other in the coming days in the upper bracket. Oh, GG, well played. And I look forward to it. Meanwhile, a shout out to Offside, a shout out to Club NV. Something special that happened here today is that we had nothing but ace matches. We had purely ace match. They went all the way to the game 7 here, both series in a row. Some great StarCraft was had. Beautiful StarCraft. And when it comes to what comes next, tomorrow's matches, you can see them before you hear on the right hand side. Tomorrow is going to be Offside versus the Starving Camels. That is an elimination match on the lower bracket, followed by Club NV versus Hyperberg. Here we go. These are 2 elimination matches. The losers will be taken away from the tournament. They will be eliminated from WTL. The winners will have another chance to make it through into Code S. And there we have it. Tonight's day of StarCraft has come to an end. Hopefully tomorrow the clean feed is a little bit more stable. What I will say, today is day 4 of Code A, and today was the worst day when it came. Like, it was the best day when it came to the games, when it came to the series. It was the worst day when it came to the clean feed connection here. It was rough. I'll be honest. It was rough, right? It was very much so a slideshow for most of the broadcasts today. Again, it's out of our control. We can't really do anything. I know that SC Boy and the Chinese broadcasting team, they're doing their best. They're trying to resolve those issues, but at the end of the day, like, if the connection is unstable, there's only so much they can do. They did restart their PC. They restarted their setup. Didn't fix it, unfortunately, and hopefully things do clear up tomorrow. Again, I did mention that today was the worst of it, and I imagine this is going to be the exception to the norm. I hope so, at least. I hope so. And if there are any issues like this, hopefully they get resolved before Code S. The last thing we want is for games to be like this. In the past, for Code S, when the stream gets a little bit too unstable, we have been able to join the games. They have given us permission to do that, but that's only if it's literally unwatchable. Like, if the stream goes down and if nothing can be done, then we have been invited to join games. But again, generally they're not too fond of it. SC Boy, they want the players to have the best experience possible, and the reality is that the latency that we're seeing here is not affecting the players. It's not in game. It's not in game. It's more with the feed itself. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Across your Ethernet cord, send your internet to SC Boy. Send it to them. They need it, Papi. They need it. GG, well played. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for the support. We do appreciate it. And with that, we are going to be wrapping up here for tonight. We're going to be coming back tomorrow, and tomorrow is going to be a big day of StarCraft, actually. Yeah, it's a little bit daunting. So tomorrow, we're going to be back in... We're gonna be back in 12 hours. In 12 hours time, we're gonna be returning with the KSL. The Korean StarCraft League is in 12 hours. If you want some Korean StarCraft, if you want to watch players like Dark, Hero, Classic, Gumiho, DRG, Solar, Byeon, Kyor, the best of the best in Korea, they do face off on a bi-weekly basis in the KSL. So we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Korean StarCraft League. Afterwards, we're going to be hosting our own tournament, the Sea Duckling Open. SDO Sea Duckling Open is going to be tomorrow in math at 7 p.m. AST. It's going to be 6 hours after KSL, so that's going to be in 18 hours time. That's some quick math. In 18 hours time, we're going to be live with the SDO. That is going to be our monthly bronze to diamond tournament. It's a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill. If you're a player between the ranges of bronze and diamonds, then you can play in Sea Duckling Open. We got you covered. We got you covered there. So if you want to join, you can join us here tomorrow for SDO. And after Sea Duckling Open, after KSL, we have World Team League, day 5 of this tournament of WTL. So back to back to back. 3 broadcasts in a row. This is more the norm. We would usually have 2 or 3 broadcasts a day. I've been a little bit sick and unwell, so I've been avoiding this, but I'm recovering. I'm getting a lot better, and I'm ready. I'm ready to get back into casting like we usually did. I've been missing it. I've been missing these grinds of like back-to-back-to-back broadcasts, like 9, 10, 11, 12-hour casts. Let's go. I'm ready for it. And if you are curious, if you want to watch it, hit that follow button. Follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Discord, Facebook, Instagram, all things CranKy Ducklings, ! Socials in the chat. And you'll get a link to all of our social media. Again, we have 3 broadcasts tomorrow, and we have 2 broadcasts on Sunday. And it isn't just our broadcast, but there's also ESL Master Spring on top of all of that. So a lot of StarCraft going on, a lot of StarCraft to watch. Best of luck if you're a viewer. It can be quite taxing to watch everything, let alone cast everything, but even watching everything can be quite a daunting task as well. So best of luck this weekend. Best of luck. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. We'll see you guys next time for KSL, for Sea Duckling Open, and for World Team League tomorrow. See you then. Ciao, papi, ciao. Hasta luego.